Hey, everybody, it's Tuesday, October 3rd, 2023. Welcome to the Giant Bombcast. It's Tuesday. Tuesdays are for emotional breakdowns that eventually lead to breakthroughs on God's favorite podcast with the most handsome men in games media. I'm your host today, Jan Ochoa. Joining me, co-captain of the ship, as always, Jeff Grubb.
I'm obsessed with a TikTok I saw of Chad Smith playing 30 Seconds to Mars. He's the drummer from Red Hot Chili Peppers. It is like watching a drummer sleep with another drummer's wife. It is insane how much he crushes that song. I'm obsessed with it. It's the only thing I ever want to watch again.
Do you know the story about that?
Jeff Bakalar, also here on the show.
Jeff Bakalar, go, please.
Tell me the story about
Jan
that.
Ochoa. So Drumeo, it's a Drumeo video, right?
Yes.
Drumeo is like a drum enthusiast channel, and they basically played that song, whatever the fucking song, the one song everyone knows from 30 Seconds to Mars.
Jared's song, I think.
And they gave him the track without the drum stem.
And
So
Chad
Smith heard it without, he just heard like the guitar, bass, and vocals. And then they were like, okay, Chad Smith, you sexy man, you play drums to this song. And he just like, it's
like a masterpiece.
in a way, like,
it's insane.
It's actually also hilarious just because he's such a character, and he was just like, am I doing it good? And they're all like, you're a fucking god, sir.
But it's like, if I was the drummer, which I guess is Jared Leto's brother in the band, I would feel like so embarrassed. I'd be like, oh my.
No, you know, well, why? It's like losing to Connor McDavid in hockey.
I guess so.
Yeah,
you've
been dethroned by a god, so who cares?
I guess so.
Right?
And last but certainly never least, Mike Minotti, please explain Connor McDavid to me.
You never lead with venom.
There you go.
All right, okay.
The title.
Okay, well.
I don't know who that person is. Is that was that who we were just talking about?
Yeah,
what do you think it is?
Yeah, what do you? Come on, that name just says that person does one thing.
That's
What
the
does that
drummer
person
from
do?
Red Hot Chili Peppers you were talking about a second ago.
That's Chad
whatever,
Smith.
Mike, we're talking about being present and in the moment, listening to each other.
I was really proud of myself for doing the Venom thing, Stone. I was thinking about my delivery, and I was thinking about, because then I thought I had another thing I thought might be funny to lead with. But then, like, I was gonna just go, I'm Mike Minotti, and I believe in God. But then it was a while ago that we talked about God, so I was
that
like,
would have
let's
been
not
pretty
do
good
that.
still, though.
That would have been
Yeah.
But here's what bothers me, Mike. We give you tons of warning, tons of prep time about you're going to be on the show.
Okay, all right.
You could have done all this research.
Absolutely.
And you're coming in here acting like, I don't know who Connor McDavid is. Maybe he's an MMA guy. Come on.
Oh, that is. All the Connors have to fight in MMA, right? That's a rule these days.
Yeah.
Connor
McDavid's in hockey, but yes.
He's the best hockey player alive.
Yeah.
Is he a goon, or is
Sarah
he a
No.
Connor?
no?
He's the furthest thing in the world from Goon. Yes, Sarah Connor
he's-
definitely would.
Oh, he's a shooter.
Mop up.
He's a nice
Mop
boy.
up.
He's a nice
Shooter.
boy, and he cannot stop being amazing at hockey.
Does he
It's
believe
disgusting.
in God?
Well,
No. He is
Okay.
God.
I don't
believes
think so.
himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
good. One of us has.
Does God believe in himself? I don't know.
What if God was one of us? You know,
Oh. Just a slob.
Exactly.
Like one of us.
Like on the train or something.
it's my goal for someone to have an emotional breakthrough today, whether that's on the show or just today. And that doesn't even mean the four of us here collected. That's like whoever is listening live right now. I want this to be a very wholesome episode. No C words. I mean, if it comes out, I did it. I did it to myself.
words?
Oh,
All
no, it's
right.
a different C word.
All right. All right.
Wow.
Okay. Hey. Before we talk about video games, how's everyone doing? Mike, Jeff, how are you? How
Better
y'all doing?
now. I
Okay.
mean,
Good.
I spent most of a weekend recovering from, that's right, folks, the vaccine
They
booster.
finally got him.
Oh, man, you were right. You should have gotten that.
Fauci hunted you down and jabbed you himself.
Held me down with leather straps,
Like in,
opened up my
like
eyelids.
Jurassic Park Lost World, he's hanging off the
Yeah.
side of a Jeep with a net gun, just hunting you down and shooting you and
Shoot
jabbing you.
Held
Someone please
open my
Photoshop
eyelids
that.
like Clockwork Orange. I don't know why, because it was just a shot of my arm, but
porno.
They want you to see it. They know that's really
Yeah.
going to hurt you.
forced
I mean,
me to
'cause
stare.
Because it's the placebo effect. It's the only thing that works, right? That says, so yeah, you got to see it go in to actually feel something.
That's just air.
Listen, I was on the dump truck later that day, and I spoke about it.
Mhm.
This fucking thing destroyed me. And what's bothering me is like, I don't know what's happening. I feel like I'm the only one who's having violently ill reactions
You're
to
very
the
weak.
poster.
Doesn't it mean you have a good immune system?
Yes,
it's like your
dude, if we could put on serious educated Backlar for a second.
Oh, weird.
Yes,
Okay.
this means it's working. But now that we're back to the truth.
Yeah, there's being smart and there's telling the truth. All right.
Now that we're being this is my first Pfizer one. I've been a Moderna boy.
You're
know.
Moderna mommy. Get it right.
Yep,
Sorry,
please.
I've been a Moderna mommy, and now I'm a Pfizer father, I
No,
guess.
Pfizer fuckboy. Pfizer fuckboy.
Pfizer
Jesus.
fuckboy said
We
That's-
talked about this in the
mommy.
meeting, Bacalar.
That's
I
why
wasn't at
I
that
got
meeting.
Pfizer.
That's right.
Because I was too busy shivering my teeth all out of my skull.
Cool.
I am not joking.
How long
This
did it
thing-
last?
So I got it early in the morning on Thursday, and by the time I went to bed Thursday night, I was like going crazy. I woke up still fucked up. I had maybe 4 hours of sleep Thursday night. I wrote in a couple times right on Friday. I was just like, I'm fucked up. It wasn't until Saturday around noon where I was like back to normal. And then, but I was still like wildly tired. I tried to play hockey on Sunday. I played in a game on Sunday and got the shit kicked out of me. Like I
They
was
just beat you up.
dude, I like collided with a dude and just stayed on the ice and just stared at the ice for like 11 seconds where I was just like, I shouldn't be here right now. Kind of thing. This virus, this vaccine.
Yeah.
Hey, you
I
know,
had to-
came
I-
after me.
I definitely need to get that because I'm going to be on that cruise in about a month.
Oh,
yeah.
buddy.
Mm.
Oh,
my,
buddy.
my Crohn's medicine, Humira, is basically just an autoimmune depressant, right? So, like, my immune system's already, like, weaker. So I got to get that. I got to get the flu shot, too. I know you don't believe in these things, Backlar. I hope you don't judge me too much.
I don't
Combine them now,
believe
right?
them.
They combine it now, Bacalar, right? It's just one thing, and it's both the flu
No-
shot and
oh, you
or
can't.
No.
This isn't a margarita. You can't just fucking mix that up in a vial. No, I got to.
My doctor
separate.
dad said to
Listen,
get them on separate
do my
days.
own science over here. I'm
Your
sorry.
doctor dad said that?
My
Oh,
doctor
man,
dad
I-
said get them separate days.
I did my own research and got both of them at the
Well,
same
no
time.
wonder. No wonder you felt like shit.
Well, the flu shot never bothered me. I'd always gotten it and never
well,
bothered
you
me.
know, Backla, you got knocked down, but you get up again.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You are our Chumbawamba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're never gonna keep them down. See, I know songs.
Oh.
All right. Okay.
They were
Something
offering
someone who knows
another
songs would say.
They were offering another vaccine, but I did not choose for like the fancy upgrade. I did not want.
You're like,
The wax-
monkeypox,
the
that
wax
ain't a real
coating.
thing.
What is a boutique?
They were genuinely trying to sell me on something on
It's
my
like a
way out.
Chipotle, like it's a fast
You want
casual
guac?
vaccines. Yeah.
Maybe it was
Okay,
like
got
a new
brown
hepatitis.
vaccine rice.
No, I think there's a new designer hepatitis vax out there.
Designer
Ooh.
hepatitis.
Yeah, it's a designer brand, isn't it? Or am I wrong? Am I misspoken?
Is it endorsed by an AI Tom Hanks?
Hey,
oh,
hey.
that shit
it
rules.
Gucci? Like, does Gucci make vaccines now?
It was
Is
a
that what it
Fendi
is?
one. It was a Fendi
Speaking
one.
about AI, did you see that thing circulating that there's a new flavor of Coke designed by AI?
Stop it, Jen. Come on, it's a family show. What
What's-
are we doing?
What? I can't believe Coca-Cola would sell out like this.
I don't understand it. I don't want AI to inform
Is
my
it
taste
poison?
buds.
Is the AI already going to kill us? Is that what this is?
That's what they're probably doing.
It's like, oh, the AI on its own. How nice of them designed a new flavor.
That would be
of
surprising that the
Coke.
AI would be competent enough to like poison something though, because it's like whenever I try to use AI, first I was impressed by the tech, and these days every time I try to use it, I'm like, this is shit. This is garbage and trash.
I think it's very unimpressive.
It's like very unimpressive. And so yeah, I like Coke. That's got to be like Coco's. Like yeah, we just threw some shit in there, and the AI did something, and then we actually made it taste good. Although I
Yeah,
would drink
like-
an AI drink.
Right. Like, what does that mean? Like, AI,
Yeah.
make a flavor of Coke, and it goes cherry. And they're like, okay, nice try. We already did
It's
that
future
one.
cherry.
What else
future
do you
cherry.
have?
All right.
Like, vanilla.
The headline on Coca-Cola's blog site or their media center here: Coca-Cola Creations imagines year 3000 with new futuristic flavor and AI-powered experience. How
optimistic of them.
Shout outs to whoever is in that AI space that fucking got Coca-Cola to buy in on your stupid pitch.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you guys can't miss out on this. This is the future. And then someone from Coca-Cola's like, I guess here's some money.
Oh, that metaverse money has to go somewhere else now.
I feel like if it's the year 3000 and we're all still drinking soda, I feel like it would taste... It would just come as cubes, like little liquid cubes.
Yeah.
It would be very
like
1,000 years? That's it?
Yeah.
1,000. I mean, 1,000 years ago from now, it was like medieval times. Still.
They were drinking milk on the regular, y'all.
Amount of time to think that like Coca-Cola as a brand will still be a thing.
I mean, we'll still be around, you know.
It's the end of history. I read that book somewhere.
We'll be in the jars.
Yeah.
No, we're all gonna get we're all gonna collectively get electrocuted at once, one game of the year, and then like our spirits will live forever in the computers.
Yeah,
like,
not Baldur though, because he got the booster. It's gonna kill him.
Yeah,
sure. Time's running out for this old boy.
Yeah, we're all gonna get Millennium Falcon, like in Solo.
They should have joke about that.
Oh man.
Let's just keep bringing up Solo every single week, huh?
Yeah, let's do. Yeah, Solo's a way more contentious topic than the Vax for sure.
I like Solo.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
I have no problem. I don't even have a problem with them giving him his name. That thing, whatever. I didn't think much about it.
Fucking insane. I can't look at you.
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't care. I didn't care.
Well, so that brings me to.
Do you hate Han Solo? It's the only explanation. Yeah, get your name, you fucking idiot.
Why don't you go cry during episode 8 again? God.
Yeah, I will. Absolutely.
I went to Disneyland. That's why Mike is here. That's why Mike is here. That's the real reason Mike is here.
Jan, everybody's really tired of hearing about you going on and on about Disney. Come on.
I know. I gotta go look for new material. So
thank you for my picture.
Of course, that was that. I was stressing out, Mike. I could barely walk because I brought the worst shoes, and then we had already walked
fucking
like
amateur
40K steps that day. I'm like, this is too much. Why are we still doing this? Anyway, but I needed to take that picture. I had 5%, 2% left on my phone, Mike.
Got me a good picture of Judge Doom from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, who's there this year. It's very good.
Sorry, go on. Wait, that's Disney?
Yeah, Who Framed Roger Rabbit's Disney. Yeah, they have a Judge Doom character, and he like recreates the bit where he takes that cartoon shoe. No, the cartoon shoe, and he murders it.
Yeah,
the dip. Yeah.
Wait.
Terrifying.
That's the portion of Who Framed Roger Rabbit they chose to recreate.
It's the scary
the most
Halloween.
it's never been scarred by. Yeah.
I just don't think like that's the thing we need to be celebrating. Like
the murder of an innocent cartoon character
we
while everybody kind of just watches
all the time in this country.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's the only thing that we're proud of.
Man, the boosters really changed you, Bacalar.
I just can't get behind Christopher Lloyd pushing that poor defenseless shoe into the ooze like that.
This sounds un-American to me, Bacalar, what you're saying right now.
Yeah, he's judge, jury, and executioner because tunes don't have rights. I wonder what they're trying to talk about.
I'm not going to let my kid see that scene till he's 30. Okay.
It's very disturbing.
It's very informative.
That stays with me.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I do because that's the scene that scarred everybody. It's good.
I just want to shout out. I believe the name was Garrett. Shouts out to Bo. Shouts out to the homie I saw eating a Ronto wrap in Galaxy's Edge.
Nice.
What's up for saying what's up? But anyway, good times were had. But yo. As we know, I am also a Disney adult, almost to the level that Mike is. Not almost there. I've yet to attain those heights. But let me tell you, I had two. I'm really just thinking about one very bad experience at Disneyland, folks.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Go on. Let's hear
And that's not anything on the park itself or whatever.
It happens.
No,
It happens.
It's exclusively on John Drake, who bullied you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know why I thought I'd see John Drake there, and I'm just assuming he lives there now.
He works
I
there,
just assume
right?
that too. 100% assume that.
He like scanned my ticket in. It's like, oh, hey, Jan.
Yeah,
Takes a
he's
sip of a
working the
Diet
door.
Coke. But yo, okay, I'm all about accessibility, folks. You know, we need more ramps everywhere in the world, in a lot of structures.
Is there a butt coming?
Yes, there is.
Is it 288 compliant for your take?
But wait, all right, here we go.
But there are some folks that go on mobility scooters that you fucking need to take some sort of certification or hand your fucking license over.
Oh yeah, I knew Bacalar was going to be on board with this. Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we went, my partner and I, we went specifically for the Oogie Boogie Bash, right? And there's a lot of tight lines for like the little trick or treating that you do in the park. There was an older woman that definitely did not know how to fucking use her mobility scooter, because my partner and I went and joined the queue for everything, and then this person almost did not know how to stop and almost hit my partner.
Okay, to be fair, aren't they called rascal scooters? Maybe that's like a feature where they're like, oh, they're just going to act up, such rascals.
I had never wanted to tip one of these over until that day.
You can. They're easy to do. Not that I would know. Listen.
Okay. Hold on, though. Hold on.
I want to hear it.
There's another part of this. So, all right. It turns out the rest of her party was in front of us, so we're like, all right, go ahead of us, it's cool, whatever. And then, okay, it's these two ladies in mobility scooters, that's cute, they're here on Halloween, whatever. And then they're two piece of shit like family members are like, oh, thanks for letting us know you were in line. And then it's cool, save space in the lines, whatever, join the queue, whatever, it's cool. But then these two ladies completely leave their two older relatives that are ill-equipped to ride these scooters behind, and there's so much space and gaps in the line. And then, all right, it's cool, it's chill, these old ladies, I'm trying to just look the other way.
It doesn't sound very chill.
I'm trying to look the other way. And then, it's a trick-or-treating line, right? So they're dropping 1-2 pieces of candy in each bag. There's a bunch of people. There's a bunch of kids having a great time. But these old ladies keep accosting every single cast member, dropping candy in their bag, saying well, I need more candy in my bag.
Oh, okay. No.
Okay.
Oh,
so,
no.
Okay.
Hey,
Clearly
you are physically harming Bacalar right now.
That was Bacalar is tossing something in his hand, fidgeting right now for audio listeners. But anyway,
thought you were against murder, Bacalar.
And then I was thinking,
a place.
My partner and I were trying to think it's chill, it's cool, we're here, it's fine. Just we're only going to be in line with these people for a little bit, and then we'll zip off somewhere else. And then there's a couple tight turns, a couple switchbacks to keep the queue contained.
Sure.
One of the women that almost hit my partner, goes over one of the line dividers, the little pylons, and loses control of her scooter.
No.
At
run away.
At a certain speed?
Yes.
With enough speed to do...
Yes.
Okay. Considerable speed.
And her two piece of shit relatives that are able-bodied people just jump out of the way, concerned for themselves, not even trying to stop who may very well be their elderly mother, elderly aunt, elderly family member, and this old lady is going straight into a little child.
No.
Oh, no.
And then... Good. Thank God, my partner and I were looking the other way when this happened. So I would have tried to stop her despite having a lot of negative interactions with this lady. Then this father, God bless his heart, was having a little lightsaber duel with his kid. Mm-hmm. He buys, and this isn't one of the cheaper lightsabers, In Galaxy's
from Savi's workshop.
Yes, in Galaxy's Edge, you can buy a really, really nice lightsaber. The hilts
alone. What's going to happen to the lightsaber?
The father, for concern for this woman, throws his lightsaber down. The lady runs it over, smashes over the tube part, and the father slams on the brakes, turns off the scooter. And then you know what? Instead of saying thank you, this woman got mad at this guy.
Why?
This woman got mad at this guy for putting his hands on her.
Jen, I can't do this anymore. I'm afraid I need to leave. I cannot hear this
lightsaber's
story.
$150, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And keep in mind, okay, so real quick, one last detail, Bacalar, and then I'll give you your time on the podium. So keep in mind, right? All right, everyone behind us, everyone that's witnessed this is oh, thank God. Shouts out to this dad.
Yeah, we didn't witness a kid die. Thank God. Yes.
We didn't witness a terrible thing.
Not again.
Keep in mind, there's a different part of this queue that has not seen this event happen, and that's still the rest of this trick or treat line is proceeding. I see these two women that are associated with these two women in the mobility scooters continuing down the queue, trick-or-treating.
Just doing their
Just
thing.
doing their thing.
Just like, we're not part of this. Like, I don't know her.
Other than that, I had a great time.
All right, great.
How did what?
I was going to show popcorn buckets now. Backlund, do you want to talk about something else?
Backlund, if you're looking for justice in this situation, I want to like lower your expectations here.
Nothing
Sounds
happened.
like there was none.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I didn't bring this up when I got back because I just wasn't comfortable with it. But now that we've broken through that barrier,
We've broken the seal here.
This is God's favorite podcast. We can talk about anything.
Right.
do you have to like? How do you get one of these things? Do you have to? Can anyone get it?
Anyone, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think anyone could buy. It's like a CPAP machine. I think anyone could buy it. If you want to get a prescription, it's a lot cheaper.
I just know for a fact. I know for a fact that I witnessed a gaggle of people on the scooters that absolutely were tourists in the sense that they did not need the scooters because I saw them get up and walk around and do it. And like they were young and very able and they made me think.
And you turned into Walter like, I know it, dude. This dude can walk.
It was basically that Walter Sobchak moment. I've seen guys who
I've never been more certain of anything in my life.
Now listen, I know there's like other things where you're like, well, maybe they could only, sure. But like, no, not four people all afflicted with the same youthful energy that all coincidentally were on. I'm sorry.
Definitely. Listen, I 100% believe that there are people who are like, here's a Disney hack. You're gonna have to walk 40,000 steps. What if you just got one of those scooters instead? We have fuck you money. Let's just get them.
And the thing that sucks, and I'm not advocating that like shame on these people or I don't believe anyone on a mobility scooter. It's just the folks that abuse it wind up ruining for folks that actually need it. You know,
even a mobility scooter doesn't mean you can be an asshole. Like,
that too. They were driving these things like the first time you've ever been in a golf cart. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like the first time you ever drive a golf cart, you're like,
utter tragic human.
This thing's kind of fucking rad, you know? Like, it's that energy. We should shotgun 3 beers and drive it some more. Yeah, let's go. I don't know. It was like a thrill ride for them. I just could not get behind it. Anyway, I just needed to say that now that we're in a safe space of talking about it. Thank you, Jen.
Yeah, of course. Additionally, there was another thing that bothered me, but I'll save that for another day.
Show us the popcorn bucket.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
what do you got?
I see some good ones.
So way behind me is sorry for the audio listeners. There's a 0 from Nightmare Before Christmas popcorn bucket.
That's cool.
It lights up in the dark. It's great.
Hey, Jen, actually, can you bring it over to the camera?
Oh, okay.
Addie, come here. Addie, come here.
Yeah, I want to see some. Wait, is it like glow in the dark or it actually has LEDs? Let's see.
Things glow in the dark. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
look what he's got.
It's got the strap on it too.
There we go.
Oh,
look.
0.
It's got a dog tag
from Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's sick.
And then
you like it?
Opens up for popcorn. You can put snacks.
Oh, you can put popcorn in the butt. The ghost butt.
Little treasures if you want. Put your little treasures in there.
And then it lights up.
Jan, I want it.
You got it. Well, not this one. I'll get you a different one. Don't worry. Uncle Jan will provide.
Oh, it's so good.
That's sick, man.
Yeah.
I love that.
Very neat. Very neat.
How long did you wait for that one? How long did you wait?
We didn't. That's the thing.
Whoa. Let's go.
I saw someone rolling a big bunch of boxes over. I'm like, that's the one. We gotta go.
You're gonna say you saw somebody else on an accessibility scooter with that way. You're like, they can't go too fast.
I can just take that.
This is go.
Again, I am all for accessibility except for assholes.
Are you?
I am.
No, he's
Is that scare canister?
Yes, Mike. All right. This is
been eyeing this one.
Scout is gonna freak the hell out.
What the fuck is that? What the
All right.
fuck is
If
that?
you've watched Monsters Inc., this is one of the scare containers.
Oh, right.
It's a little sipper, right?
Oh, it's so good.
That's really neat.
Oh, so good.
It
Look,
screams.
I hate that, but that's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
I hear Scout
that
pitter-pattering
rules.
now. She's freaking the fuck out.
I love that.
This is the dumb thing that I was looking for desperately when Mike, Grubb, Dan, and I went.
Oh, you got it.
This is a stupid.
Oh no!
Oh my god, guys.
Okay.
Audio
guys.
listeners, he's got a Mickey. It's like a giant Mickey glove attached to a picnic basket.
I'm gonna
at
tweet
this.
it right now. So if
Here's
you're
where-
listening, check my thing.
Here's where I get off.
Check my Twitter.
Here's
This is-
I was
It's a functional basket.
sure.
Oh my
Look,
god.
this is where I jump off. You had me
even
until
basket.
that.
Even I'm like, I don't know if I could do that.
Hey, you had a choice of like a fruit roll-up, apple slices, or carrots
Oh, gross.
as a snack. It was great.
Sorry,
Incredible.
I'm out.
All right. Okay.
I
All right.
love it.
Last thing for Disney Show and Tell.
Okay. Ooh,
So
ooh, ooh.
this is a thing that has been offered at the parks for Mike, pretty much since forever, right? I'll show
what
you in a
is it?
second. But because of TikTok, it kind of blew up even more so. But at Disneyland, and I believe Disney World as well, you can at Main Street, you can get silhouettes made
Yes.
of pretty much whatever you want.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
So
look
we
at
got
that.
Scout, my partner, and myself on
that's
this
cool.
guy.
Yeah,
I'm back
I
on
like,
board.
I like that a lot.
Did you get that little cubby on Main Street there
Yeah.
that goes off to the right? You know, that street was supposed to extend to a whole land, Edison Square, that never got built.
What was
Okay,
Edison Square
that's-
supposed to be?
That's very
It was going to be like,
useful.
so like Main Street is sort of like early 1900s. Edison Square would have continued a little bit more like age of electricity kind of stuff. There would have been a show, like basically a hall of presidents, but with like inventors from that era, kind of a thing.
Okay.
whatnot.
That sounds neat.
That's real cool, Jan. I appreciate that. The fact that you didn't have to wait for a while for the zero thing. Is a big win.
Oh, okay. One last thing, and we'll finally talk about video games. I swear. I'm only letting the Disney talk stretch because we can't talk about a lot of games this week because
true.
of embargoes and all that stuff. So I forgot in Disneyland, at least, there's a whole ticket and reservation system. Two separate
yeah.
things where
Sure.
just because you buy a ticket doesn't mean you get entry into the park, because there are certain blockout dates where the park is expecting high volume of people. They block out people that have an annual pass depending on the tier that you're buying. Sometimes there's an event at the park, so they're anticipating even more people. And I forgot that. I absolutely forgot that. So night before, I was thinking like, oh, we'll just buy the tickets now instead of when we get to the park. I see it's blocked out.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And then, I'm all on my like, I'm gonna be a better person these days type of kick. So I choose to be transparent, and I straight up tell my partner, hey, we may not be able to get in the park on Saturday. Causes a little bit of a tiff, obviously. So I should have
Sure.
pre-planned, but knowing me, I don't.
No,
I'm
of
still
course
working
not.
on myself. I wear Carhartt and Dickies
I have
because
so much
I'm working on
anxiety.
myself.
There's so much anxiety now.
Wait, everyone. Oh, I hope people did not sleep on that line, Jan. Jan's got these gems he like sneaks in, and I don't know if everyone hears it.
what I'm
I
here
fucking
for.
heard that, and I
That's what I'm
love
here
it,
for.
baby. That
That's
was
what I'm here
beautiful.
for. But then, the whole time I'm thinking like I've put out a bunch of good juju into the universe. My partner is a teacher teaching the youth. There's some good juju floating around, and I generally don't worry about stuff sometimes. I'm Kevin Durant. I just trust the process.
Yeah.
So Saturday rolls around, still looking online, still completely blocked out. Completely blocked out. We go to the box office at Rope Drop. Rope Drop is when they open the park for everyone to enter in. But we get there at 7 o'clock at the park,
Jesus.
a.m. Thinking like, oh, maybe the box office is open. Maybe we could split up, tell them a sob story, tell them the truth about how I'm a piece of shit.
Sure.
My name's Janochoa, not Planochoa. Come on.
Bravo.
That's really
I
good.
gotta write that down.
Mike's not impressed, which I always appreciate.
Not a
I'm gonna
sliver
run
of
over.
emotion.
I
tell my
literally would have it
partner.
no other way.
And then like the gentleman at the box office, before we even step into the box office, he says like, sorry, man, you're out of luck. You just gotta go. And then I'm like,
Go
you know
home.
what? No. I don't believe this.
Never give up. Never surrender.
And then I'm telling my partner, it's like, hey, like we could save this. We could go to Goofy's Kitchen. We could have like a nice breakfast or whatever. Don't worry. I still got plans. She has a little bit of frowning face going on. Understandably so. Right?
Sure.
You know.
Not good.
You know, she dressed up and everything. And then, you know, it's like, it's all right. It's okay. Mike, I thought about texting you this as soon as this was happening.
Oh, no, don't do that.
And then I was, the gears were turning in my head. I'm like, all right, I have like, I'm like negative Z-list celebrity on the internet. Maybe I have some options here. And then I thought,
okay.
You know what? No, I'm not going to try and desperately hit up John Drake. He's busy taking care of a child and a Diet Coke.
Oh, God.
So I was like, you know what? Screw this. I'm just going to open the app. I opened the app, and then lo and behold,
oh my God,
there were reservations and tickets available then and there, and I checked it a minute before, nothing. The second I checked it again, boom, bottom.
Yeah, keep refreshing.
I checked on my partner's phone a minute, like literally while I was entering in my credit card information, nothing.
Man.
Managed to get him.
Jan.
There we go. Just join me. Just hitch your wagon to me, y'all. I'll make it happen.
This was literally them saying like the park is sold out today.
Yes. Like we're expecting max volume at the park. We can't let anyone else in except that dumbass over there. And his lovely partner that has a heart of gold. And then we got in.
Please, right away, please.
And then
I was gonna say these stories between Bacalar and you, Jan, is why for my little break here, I'm going to the woods alone where there are no other people. Literally, it's a tree house. That's what we're doing.
They have a tree house in Disneyland. They're working on it.
Okay, now listen.
You can go to tree houses in Disney World. They've had this for a while. Excuse me.
You okay?
Mike's getting emotional.
This is it. This is the big one.
You were just talking to somebody who got vaxxed, and there he goes.
All right. Anyone else have any other things about Disneyland, some parks, or whatever else?
I always do, but I'll spare everyone. I'll be there soon myself in about a month. Disney World, but I'll have Disney escapades of my own.
Exciting. Very exciting. Just like it is. Oops. Just like Jeff Grubb has been riding a bike that is exciting. Excitebike 64.
That's pretty good, Jan.
New hot games.
New hot games. Yeah, like, listen, we are playing a ton of stuff right now we can't talk about. Literally 2 of the games we could talk about tomorrow. I don't know. We'll find some place to maybe put some of this content. But definitely on the Bombcast next week, we'll have a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yes.
But Excitebike 64 got added to Nintendo Switch Online a little bit ago, and I started playing it. I'm pretty happy with it. The N64 emulator on Switch is actually improved a lot. It's some of the effects are actually better than a lot of the emulators I've used in the past to play Excitebike 64. So it's like the checkerboard effect when you get first place on a level, like that shows up properly, and that doesn't always work. It's like those layering effects often get broken, but really, it's such a good game, and if anyone's like been interested in it and like you started it up and like I don't really get this, you have to play the tutorial. It is very technical, but it's like technical but very rewarding once you get the feel of it, of really leaning in hard to these turns and doing the power slide, and you're gonna have to like lean off the power slide a little bit earlier than you think because your momentum's gonna carry your tail end around. And you gotta try to line it up, and that feels very like high skill level stuff. And so once you start like dialing that in, every turn is this really rewarding thing, and it's got this boost system where you're going up a ramp, and you can hold the boost up the ramp, and that'll help a little bit. But if you time the boost at the very top of the ramp, the back wheel will hit the ramp, and you'll go much further. And then then it's Excitebike. If you hold back in the air, you'll stay in the air longer. If you press down or press forward, you'll go down faster. And it's like, and you want to land on the ground with both wheels at the same time to maintain all your momentum. So there's all these tiny little things that make the game, every moment of the game, feel like, okay, if I can optimize this, I'm going to play better and better. And then it's just still kind of this crazy cacophony of stuff where every turn there's a couple other riders there, and if you hit their back wheel with your front wheel, you're going to bite it. But if you hit them with your back wheel, they're going to bite it, and you get your full boost meter reset, so you can just boost through the next thing. It's such a good game. I really, really wish it would come back, and it has me interested in like looking like there's a new MTV or motocross game or something that came out recently. I'm like, I wonder if any of these try to get anywhere close to this, or they are much more arcadey, or if they're sim in a different direction. And like I see them, they have pretty bad reviews on Steam, so I'm like, I think I'm just gonna be happy sticking with Excitebike 64 for now. But yeah,
I was there was a PS2 motocross game that felt like an SSX game that I absolutely loved. Is there like a Tony Hawk of dirt bikes?
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. I was like wondering that, because like Excitebike 64 very much the skate of dirt bikes.
Right.
That's definitely what it's going for. I think that these more recent motocross games probably are trying to be a little bit more like Tony Hawk. That seems like the safe thing to do. Although maybe the audience is like, no, we buy these games all the time because we like live and breathe dirt bikes and we want the sim stuff. So I honestly have no idea. But yeah, I would be interested in checking that out. It's weird with these extreme sports games where it's like I can flip back and forth between what kind I like. Because for skating, skateboarding, I definitely prefer Tony Hawk over skate. But for snowboarding, it's 1080 over SSX, which is like the reverse. 1080 is much more like skate. And for Excitebike, it's, give me the one that is trying to be a little bit more simmy.
Even trials to an extent. I feel like, what happened to dirt bikes? They were everywhere.
Well, trials, they kept doing trials over and over again, and they didn't really have an idea of like what the new idea would be. Right. There was the one where it's like, hey, we're gonna have you shoot a gun, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they milked that for a while.
Yeah, that was the one I was looking forward to too, because it was that Far Cry Blood Dragon one.
Right.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, you know what? It's fine for what it's trying to be. It's just not very much a trials game, and trials is like such a specific like motocross platforming game that has a very certain fan base. That they're very demanding about what they want. They want the tracks to be fun, and they want the platforming to be very, very difficult.
Who'd you play as in Excitebike 64? You a Jumpin' Jim Rivers guy?
Jumpin' Jim Rivers is mid, in my opinion. I'm much more Vicky Steele, because Vicky Steele can really. She's got a bigger window for hitting the turbo at the top of the ramp, and that makes the game much easier. And then she's also still very good at cornering, which is important. So Jumpin' Jim Rivers, it's okay, but as soon as I went with Vicky Vixen Steele, I was doing much better.
I just like the way the announcer screams Jim Rivers' name.
Jim Rivers,
very
he's
enthusiastic.
In second place. Yes, it's great
very
stuff.
Enthusiastic about Jim Rivers.
We need more we need more just random announcers yelling shit in games.
You've got boost power.
I think that's why Smash does so well, is just because when you select a character, it's like Kirby.
Yeah, and then like some of them he like says it kind of weird, and I was like, Mr. Game and Watch, and like Bayonetta, right? Those ones I live for those.
Halfway through saying Game and Watch, like that's what
Mr.
it sounds like.
Game and Watch. Yeah, there's a little pause there. He's so excited. He's like, can't believe, Mister, am I reading this correctly? Game and Watch.
It's really good. I do like all of the characters from these Nintendo 64 extreme sports games. Jim Rivers, like Big Boy Bobby Malone, I think is his name or something like that.
Big boy.
And there's always a fat guy. There's a fat guy in Wave Race too, and they always have like the fastest top speed or whatever. I'm like, that doesn't make sense, but I'm fine with it. Like, represent.
Okay, somehow we need to work in talking about Kevin James, so I can use Kevin James as a thumbnail. And then
Kevin James would clearly be.
And then the title is like
a thumbnail.
The title is like, there's always a fat guy. Okay.
I'm upset because when Cone put my face on that Kevin James meme, and it just looks like a picture of me. It just looks like a picture of me.
It's completely seamless.
It's remarkable.
Travis Pastrana. Y'all remember that name?
Yeah, of course.
That was like he was like, I associate not BMX, dirt bikes and stuff with him. Yeah, that's a name. That's a Tony Hawk.
That's a dirt biker.
That's a dirt biker.
I'm the one person who doesn't know this dude. So.
What's the name of the character from the original Excitebike? Do you guys know?
No.
That dude had a name?
Mr. Excitebike?
That's very close. It's Excitebiker.
Oh, I was almost there. I was getting there.
Come on.
Created by Shigeru Miyamoto, by the way.
That's another gem. Speaking about another gem and another older game that I play this on the plane. Hades. I don't have anything new to say about Hades.
What? Have you played it before?
Yeah. Played it before.
I thought you had.
Got good times in it and everything. It's just been years since I've checked it out.
To go back too, but it's like, man, there's so much to play right now. I'm like, I can't even entertain that.
And there's another one coming real soon, right?
Hades 2 early next year.
Hades 2 next year for early access.
Great Steam Deck game for sure, Jan.
I played it on Switch. It was great on Switch. Yes.
I didn't want to bring the Steam Deck because it's a little big. You know,
it's bulky.
Especially the case that it comes with. It's pretty bulky.
Yeah, if you use that case, it's gonna take up a lot of space.
And I needed to keep space for all of these
sure.
All the stuff from Disneyland.
Hey, you got it back. It looks like it worked out.
We got it back.
Would it fit in your picnic basket?
No, the Switch would not fit in my picnic basket. Maybe the fist?
Dude.
No, okay. But hey, Hades is one of those rare games similar to like rare for me, similar to a Tony Hawk, maybe Dead Cells to an extent, where like the muscle memory instantly kicks in.
Yeah, sure.
And hey, Hades is still fucking amazing, y'all.
It's good.
Man,
And then I will still always roll with that stupid shield. I'm a shield boy. Love
all
that
the weapons
build.
rule. There's not a bad weapon in the game. There's not there's not even really a bad build in terms of like every build can be fun once you learn how to like do it just a little bit.
Yeah.
Some of them are more effective than the others, but that's the roll of the dice of a roguelike game where it's like some builds are going to be just monsters and some are going to be duds. The magic of Hades is every build is fun, whether you are getting far or not. That's what separates Hades from other roguelike games. Yes, I'm talking about Returnal. Returnal is like one where it's like, hey, that game is very fun when you get the right build. Otherwise, it's like, it's very routine. So yeah, Hades just an example of early access really working for that game where they just refined it and refined it. They found the stuff that worked and they did more of that, and they found the stuff that didn't work and they just got rid of it. It's God, it's a good game.
And spoilers, I guess, for Hades, but like the gun you get, I never really vibed with, but then I decided like, you know what? I'm just going to try this out. Try this out for a couple runs. Man, the combos that you can get on that, just shooting that off several times and then just zipping around, absolutely amazing. Hades, great game.
Can I tell you why Hades makes me sad these days?
Why is that?
Because
you can't experience it again?
Titanfall 3 is what it is. Titanfall 3 was the content they were going to put in Apex Legends that was going to be titled Titanfall 3, basically. They're like, what if we made it more like Hades, where you have these core set of moves, and then you could unlock new stuff to do on top of those moves. You're still doing the same like inputs, but now they do new things like dash into bullets, and then the bullets get knocked back at the enemies, like something that happens in Hades a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like, that sounds fucking incredible. Please give me that. Please give me that. And nope, they're just not going to make it. So I get very sad when I think about Hades now.
Well, speaking about bullets, Mike Minotti, you've been playing Counter-Strike 2.
Yeah, just a bit of it. It's so going back to Counter-Strike is so weird for me because that is a game I played a lot of in like 1999. And it's just so weird to be like, I sure changed a lot since then. And this video game is just still there. And you go in there and it definitely looks better. There's some nice UI improvements and things like that. Way easier to get into games. But like, you know, when you start it up, they make you play a bunch of levels and you're on Dust or Dust 2, whichever one. It's like, man, it's this map. Like
but don't you think? I personally think that map is like the perfect map. I know.
Oh, it is. It is. Well, that's why we still play on it.
That's what I want to add. Like, is Counter-Strike the closest a game has ever gotten to just being a sport? Well, I guess maybe Rocket League since then. Rocket League is going to be the same thing forever. But Counter-Strike has like this. It's the same map, the same mechanics, and some stuff has changed very slightly here and there, just like rules change slightly in football or soccer or whatever.
I guess Dota also occupies that.
Definitely. But like Counter-Strike's been around even longer than Dota, so
and
it's
Dota's
just so
had, like, big,
optimized
resets too, like even bigger resets than Counter-Strike has had.
You can add characters to Dota or whatever they do, or make balance patches. Like here, you have the guns. All the guns shoot people. You know, it's nothing so crazy as like, hey, this character can summon a ghost ship. You know, nothing like that. But you know, it was still fun. I was almost having more fun in the tutorial because then you get back into it. And it's like, man, this is just like Counter-Strike where I turn a corner and then I'm just dead. And then I kind of have to amuse myself by flying around the map while I kind of wait to see what happens. And also, like, the one thing that hasn't changed too much is Counter-Strike chat. Like, it's still just people being weird. People like there was this weird thing like, there was one person left on our team. Is against 5. They're like, kill them all. We're going to vote to kick you. I was like, they're joking. No, they're like, haha, yeah, we're gonna kick him now, I guess. No, that's what you guys think is funny. Okay.
Yeah, people in that Counter-Strike culture, it's certainly
stuck in.
It's called clutch or kick. Apparently, it's a thing. Clutch or kick.
It's like it's like this whole. It's self-contained, right? Because the people who play Counter-Strike, that's what they do.
That's what they do.
With their
They're
time.
like frozen in a bit of a time capsule. Yeah. And that game, I mean, I still think that game's really good.
Sure.
I played it a bunch, and it was funny because I was very excited to get going. I hadn't played it in a couple of years, and I was like, oh, all right, it's all coming back to me. And I got like a 10-year coin badge on my name because I was like, oh, I've been playing this game for a very long time. That's upsetting and cool at the same time. And I'm just like dead last. The only dude with the 10-year coin is just like absolutely getting destroyed.
Yeah, it's probably a badge of dishonor for most of these
100 people. Yeah, it's like 100%. Like I'm getting back there, having not played that game in a long time. But I enjoyed it. I played it for like 2 hours last week, and it was a good time. Like I think there's certain cool things about that game that are just never gonna, like, they're just not gonna come back in any other shooter, right? Like you're very rarely you're gonna see anything where like there's no ADS or like stuff like that. Like, I just think it has its own very specific brand. All the regular things you can ADS down like a scope.
Oh, sure, yeah. But I mean, this original game was built off of Half-Life 1 as a mod. So this is pre Call of Duty everything ADS, right?
Yeah, so, it's very much stuck in that.
I mean,
yeah, it's very much stuck in a certain time, and I think that's what keeps. And look, I remember in college playing CS16 like for literally 10 hours in a straight. Like my roommate happened to be this like CS freak, and we got along really well, and that's all we did. That's all we did for an entire year of college is play that game. So I look very fondly at it, and I just think it's great that I think what it did then, right, was clearly this lasting cultural impact. I mean, like the fact that it is still like, how many people are still playing this game? Do we know?
1 million every day.
Fucking really insane, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's really popular.
I mean, that's a million concurrent.
Europe, so
yeah, it's probably could be like 2 million people a day are actually playing it. Yeah.
Oh boy.
So like, I there's a part of me that like maybe the nostalgia and the sort of like feeling of being a part of that is weighs more than the game itself, right? But I do want to maybe like start playing that to on a cadence where I get a little better again, get back to where I used to be or
Greg,
close to that.
You brought up something interesting about thinking of CS like a sport, and that like the basics fundamentals are all there. But I'm interested to see where like. It has probably been documented, I'm sure, but like where there's been new like advances in terms of like, no, you gotta like keep crouching here, or you gotta keep jumping here. Like
still coming up just like it happens. So
especially when you play it, people like even know like, well, this is where you throw smoke grenades, right?
Yeah,
like,
but like the people
optimized.
Coming from like other aspects of gaming to like just realize, because when you're too in your own lane with a specific game, you generally don't like try and innovate or whatever. Right. Don't accidentally innovate. Versus someone coming in that's used to, I don't know, playing Warcraft 3, another modern game, and just seeing where they come from with it. I'd be interested to see.
I think this stuff does kind of still happen in the pro scene, which is obviously huge for Counter-Strike, massive. And it's going to be, the skill level always goes up. Somehow it always improves. They're like, hey, we didn't think this was possible. And then some kid comes along and it's like, no, I'm actually pretty good at that, and starts using it regularly in competition. But it's, that just goes back to it, being very much like a sport where they kind of don't want the fundamentals to change. Obviously, they don't want the fundamentals to change because it's about the player expression instead. And there's something to be said for that, obviously. I think it's going to be interesting to see if Counter-Strike 2 is some sort of, I don't think Counter-Strike needed revitalization. I suppose I don't know how it's doing compared to Valorant. Obviously Counter-Strike's doing just fine. Yeah. But is Valorant like getting bigger faster or something like that? I don't know.
I feel like I have friends that hover around video games, but the only game they talk about is Valorant. And it is just a world I am unfamiliar with.
Well, Counter-Strike doesn't have waifus, so that's gonna they're gonna struggle with that.
Okay.
I've not spent time in Valorant, but I do get the vibe of like that sort of cementing its place for like a younger generation's Counter-Strike in a lot of ways.
Well, it's like a nice
free to play.
Yeah. And it's nice in between, because it is very Counter-Strike, like a really, really fast time to kill. You got to be pretty tactical, but you do still have like some character powers, and you have characters, right? It's a bit more perhaps visually interesting. So I get that. But yeah, Counter-Strike for me, like I don't think I'm gonna like suddenly dive back in and really get into Counter-Strike again.
Sure.
But it is fun playing it and like, oh my gosh, I'm back in my brother's room because that's where the only PC was, and Digimon is on because I'm always watching that on Saturday mornings while I play Counter-Strike. You know, it really was a teleportation. Yeah, there you go. Jen knows.
I love like, you know, obviously 1.6 was like very, people were customizing a lot of the servers and stuff.
Or
this was the main, this was like the original base version game that most people played was 1.6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. And I don't know, like, you know, I remember the path to 1.6 where like servers were getting customizable and people would like upload all their own custom sounds and stuff like that. And I just, you know, you just remember it being like the most tuned, refined sort of version of the game. And I feel like what's interesting with that franchise as a whole is like it's the one that really kind of taught me like how to play an FPS competitively, and like just basic strategy that has stayed with me for all these years, right? Of, you know, like a lot of like duck to shoot kind of stuff, and just the things that not having done a keyboard and mouse like you know, FPS like a competitive game like that. I've done Call of Duty a bunch, but like the fact that the muscle memory that just comes back after all those years of like crouching, and you know, I'm a big F to reload guy in that game, and just fancy. You know, just stuff like that where I was just like, oh, I'm back, and it, I don't know, it made me feel young, and that's really all I'm after.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, that was just so much of my early like playing games online at all thing was those Half-Life mods, because first it was Team Fortress Classic, then everyone moved to Counter-Strike. Day of Defeat had a little shine there for a little bit. I don't know what Day of Defeat is up to these days, but all that stuff was exciting.
Well, what is old is new again. Just like we're being reborn, like we've been hibernating in a cocoon. Because I've been playing Cocoon. Shouts out to our own Turbo Sean. Let a quick look. We looked at this game. That quick look's now on the website and on YouTube's. I played this during Summer Game Fest. It is a puzzle game, which I would like to call, it's very bug punk.
Sure.
A lot of goopiness, not less goopiness than you would get from Limbo or Inside. I think this is probably going to be one of the more approachable games.
You're not referencing the Sega Saturn game bug, are you?
No.
Actual bugs? Damn
actual bugs. But not like...
Shit!
Not too much bug, just bug adjacent, bug informed.
Bug adjacent.
Hey, bug coded, perhaps.
It's bug coded for sure. Yes.
It's bugged.
It's bug.
Me and my friends, that's like an expletive for us, is just screaming bug. We like to yell bug at each other because there's a then Cleveland Indians game where there were too many bugs and the pitcher couldn't pitch on the other team, so the bugs were on our side. So we started screaming bug. It was just a word we like to scream. So this whole
rewrite history there. I like
this whole sentence you were doing. This whole thing, Jim, was very difficult for me to just not picture my friends screaming bug in my face the entire time. They would like get up to my face, go bug, and then I laugh.
That reminds me, one time I was at Disneyland, Mike, and I was about to ride Radiator Springs, but then which is a Cars ride for folks that don't know, and then they had to shut down the ride because there was a swarm of bees on the track.
Oh shoot!
And then like everyone went dead quiet because we were everyone was upset about having the ride canceled. And my cousin and I, we just hear like. And then, like, in the distance, you can see a shoot swarm of bees.
Oh,
I was like, you know what? I'll ride it. Put me on. I want to ride through a swarm of bees. But Cocoon, it's a neat puzzle game. It's very linear. Some of the puzzles are a little bit more challenging than others because it's all context in terms of the world. Like, there's one very, very early in the game that I got stuck on during the demo at Summer Game Fest, where there are these 5 little markers and they make a different sound as you like walk past them. And I thought like, oh, maybe you have to hit them in like lowest note to highest note, or they had like these different markings on them. So I thought like, oh, maybe it's like we go from whichever has like the most corners to the least corners or whatever. And then I was just stuck there for forever. And then I walk over a little bit to the left and it turns out there was this weird fleshy tube thing that you had to pull its ball and then it would rise and then
You
it
mean
had
a penis, Chad?
Fuck.
not that type of flesh
A little
tube.
handy.
A fleshy tube thing with a ball? You mean a dick, right?
We heard what we heard, Jan.
Maybe this
I
is
mean,
genital coded. But
That's a penis.
that's a penis.
cock-coded. Cock-coded, please.
Cock-coded. Yes. But then, like, there were markings on the flesh tube that denoted the sequence you were supposed to activate the icons. But the mechanic that is really, really neat about this game, though, is you start in one world and one puzzle world, one biome, and then you eventually, when you complete that biome, you pop out and you physically use that world as like a puzzle piece or like a key to activate other devices. Cool. But sometimes you will take that hub world into your actual hub and then take that world into another world to activate icons there. And then you will eventually have to jump into that first world within the second world. It's really great.
That's neat.
It has some of the most amazing sound design in a game. And for being like a little bug man, it really amps up the sense of scale really, really well.
A bugman.
Bug. Oh, this game looks good, and it's getting really good reviews, and it's upsetting, because how the hell? Now I gotta play this too? What am I gonna do?
I know. Pile it onto the list. Listen, wasn't this the vaginal one? Weren't we screaming vaginal
yes.
things?
Well, we scream that at most games, but yeah.
Yeah,
this is true.
Just like Mike's friends were yelling bug, we were yelling
vaginal.
Vag.
My friends seem very wholesome now compared to
Vag-coded. Okay, listen.
Yes, because the game starts with you popping out of
a vagina.
Yes.
What is with the play, like the play dead pedigree people? Just all about that wet, hot, like skin moist. What are the other words I'm missing?
Goopy,
soppy,
goopy, drippy, viscous,
grubbed up.
Moist does it.
Vascular.
Moist is such a visceral word. You say moist, and I'm like, I get it.
Oh yeah, we do the moist thing again.
Jeff, what was that vagina hand thing you and Lucy made me do?
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
It's like that. He hadn't done the vagina hand thing. Have you done it?
Of course. What do you mean? It's like a rite of passage.
Don't get dipped. Don't get dipped.
He ain't gonna know. He ain't gonna know.
All right.
You don't know what you're looking at until you're like 13 or 14.
Don't get Stacy. Just you do this and
She knows.
Oh my
You
God.
do that thing, right? You do that thing and like, oh man, there's nothing better than the first time you realize what you're looking at.
I saw that with Mike like a month ago. Yeah.
I almost passed out. I couldn't believe how much it looks like.
I do that with Dib right now, and he's just like fun and weird, right? Like, you know, nothing to call home
This
about.
looks like one of those tubes from Cocoon. Weird.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a penis. That's a penis. Never mind.
Yeah,
That would be funny if that somehow made a dick. You know. Oh, actually, there is a way you can do it where like you slide one of your fingers through, right, and then you do a little how you doing,
look
you know?
kind of like a dick. It looks a lot like a vagina when you do it.
Certainly does, Michael. Certainly does.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Last thing I'll say about Cocoon, out of you mentioned Play Dead back, Alar, but like I think this may be the more palatable out of those other games.
I'm sorry, are they not palatable? What do you mean?
Other people might find them too gross or
they're not
off-putting.
important.
For real? Do people
They're not important.
relax with that word? Number two. Wait, I didn't know that. Do people?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess like the end of Inside is a little
there's parts
fleshy.
of Limbo that folks don't vibe with.
I guess with like the spiders
Yeah.
horror and our protagonist losing a limb or two.
Yeah.
He's a little black and white, stick figure. What's the problem? But I get
The
it.
child, they deserve that.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's got what is coming to him, right?
We were talking about the hand vagina and staring into the void, just like Mike Minotti, you've been staring into void of the sea and space with Sea of Stars.
Yeah, I am right at the end here. I got to like kind of the end period, and then there's just basically a bunch of side quests you can do to get every party member's ultimate weapon. I did all of those, so all I have to do now is the final dungeon and boss. I adore this game. This is really everything that I wanted from this kind of classic JRPG. A lot of that is actually pacing, like the ratio of doing story stuff and then having the combat and the puzzles. A lot of games get that wrong, especially when it's like more of an indie team doing that kind of a thing. They get really excited about their lore. They maybe like overthink puzzles a bit too much, so it feels like you're doing like that more than you're actually fighting things. This handles that very well, where hey, you're like in a town for a little bit, you talk a little bit, then you're going to probably do some big dungeon, get into a lot of good fights, fight some great bosses, fantastic bosses, and the combat system carries things too. Where what's great is like you have the whole combat system from the beginning, and it really is. The most important things is the way that you can use certain attacks to cancel enemy special moves. So it's like, oh, I'm going to do my big thing. It's going to hurt everybody. And they have a sword and like a moon above them. So it's like, okay, if I hit them with a sword attack and a moon attack, I can cancel that. Mm-hmm. There's just a lot of ways to play around with that and to kind of work around that and to be clever with that. But the other thing is, since whenever you attack, you get MP back, you're really encouraged to actually use all of your special abilities. It's not just a matter of, oh, I don't have enough mana, I don't have enough ethers or whatever. So just the fact that I am using my Moonerang a lot, and that's the one where you have to bounce it back to people, and it keeps getting faster, and you can do it for a long time. And I've gotten real fucking good at that Moonerang. That's my main damage ability.
Mike is like, great at hot potato.
It's so good. It's so good. So. And it's just gorgeous. It's maybe the best looking pixel game ever. Just absolutely insane pixel art. Yeah, Jen, I think Bailey and I are mad at you. I think Bailey and I, we've been talking. I think we're upset with you.
I'm getting Baileyed on the weekends now, where homegirl's calling me out. I'm like, what the? Why am I catching strays on vacation, dog?
What was the issue? I missed this.
No, I just don't like Sea of Stars.
Right. Okay.
And then Mike
just wrong.
Okay. And then Mike is resonating with it, and I think Bailey has been streaming it.
I mean, to be clear, Jen's allowed to not like Sea of Stars.
I guess not.
I'm like struggling with what game to go to next. I'm like looking at what's coming in October. There's a lot of stuff. Obviously, I'm playing the games that we can't talk about yet. Sorry about everybody. We'll talk about it soon. But like, I have the backlog. There's Liza P and Sea of Stars and a handful of other things. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go back to Baldur's Gate 3. Should I just go to Sea of Stars and I'll settle this and I'll be the determining factor? Or
yeah, but only if you agree with me.
Right. I was gonna say, is that scary? Because you know there's a chance.
I don't know. Like, it's weird because I have a hard. Sometimes I'm like, I think Jeff will like this, and I don't see why you wouldn't, Jeff. But every once in a while, you can be particular about things.
Yes,
like, small things can set you off.
Is a very good. Yes, I can be very particular about it. So it's hard to predict. But yes, there could be anomalies out there. I'm very excited with the way you talk about this game. It makes it sound very good. So
I'm very good.
Definitely gonna give it some time into it.
And like, even though like the combat system kind of is what it is the entire game, you're constantly getting. It's not so much that you're getting a lot of new stuff, but that you are getting new characters and they get new abilities. Mm-hmm. These new combo moves too, kind of Chrono Trigger style combo moves, which is always fun. But just the bosses themselves, the enemies, there's so many different one of those, and there are a lot of bosses, so that is kind of what keeps changing and keeps making things interesting. But yeah, absolutely adore it, absolutely love it.
Maybe I was in a bad headspace, or it came out at a bad time when I was checking it out.
How far did you get?
I was like 4 hours in. Like, what's his face rejoins your party and everything.
Gale? Not Gale.
Garl.
Garl. Yeah, so
Garl's night, baby.
The one moment where the pacing is a little, I don't know if it's off or it's just haste the beginning of the game, so we have to kind of like be story heavy for a bit, because you play it and it starts like in media res. Mm-hmm. You get to do a bunch of like a few battles. Yeah, I know. I learned that in college. But then it's like, okay, now we're gonna flash back and they're kids, and we're gonna like really tell you how they got there, and that is like the story dump. And that's the one time it does that.
Okay.
And you know, I liked his character, so I was fine with that, and it is still gorgeous. So I was vibing. If you're able to kind of just vibe with that intro, get kind of a little bit past that.
Yeah,
you get into it.
Grub, if you're gonna go and check that out over the other titles, I think I would just give yourself more patience than I probably did.
Yeah, I think that's. I'm gonna like. I'm gonna try to get through these first several hours before I really like try to settle on an opinion of it. It's kind of my plan. Yeah. Because I mean, first of all, it's pretty beefy, and I can play it, but it's also gonna fit really well with playing on the Steam Deck or whatever. So
it's beefy, but also like I'm doing a lot of side quests. I'm going to the final dungeon. I'm 25 hours in. And it's
that's reasonable.
It's very reasonable. And that's that's the other thing it's capturing from that 16-bit era, back when JRPGs actually were 20 to 30 hours long,
right?
Which is still probably the actual length that most of these games should be aiming for.
Like, no, I agree with you.
That pacing's good.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mike.
I thought about the Roman Empire, by the way, when you said it on Media Res.
Man.
A game that Mike Grubb and I, alongside Dan, played last Friday on UPF was Whispers in the West. Is a cooperative mystery solving game, and I am still upset that we kind of didn't solve that last puzzle properly last week.
We missed something there. We really missed something.
It was like it was pretty easy to work myself into a shoot a little bit, where I'm like, I get fixated on like a couple pieces of information. It's like, well, if that's true, these other things just can't be true.
Right.
And so then I think we got too clever for it, and Yeah, I think that was a big part of it. And I think we had to communicate even more than we were. Like we were saying a lot, and I think we had to like get very specific about all the stuff that we were discussing. And
we got really caught up on we misunderstood there's two sets of footprints.
Right.
And we thought it meant there was 4 impressions. I was like, no, there's just 2. Like, well, that makes it very clear because we were stuck on that for a while. Well, who broke into the bank? Well, that was kind of obvious in hindsight.
Yes, right. In hindsight, it's completely obvious that it's like, oh, that's one set with 2 different imprints. Yes. Right. So, but that was one thing. It was the what was the other guy?
Well, there was this whole thing with the priest and the priest's daughter.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was a red herring.
Those were the red herrings.
But then there was also like a mystery box at the end. Like, oh, you didn't discover the other secret mystery, right?
Sure.
So maybe that was that. But
it wasn't. We could uncovered like the truth of like what really happened there. But in terms of like the core stuff that we were trying to solve, like that we were tasked with solving, that was a red herring. For people who didn't see the UPF, what this is like a 4-player co-op Wild West puzzle adventure game. So we're all walking around trying to figure out a mystery in this Wild West town.
Yeah.
And we talk to people to collect information, and then we all have our characters, there's 4 characters, they have individual abilities that might get you something that the other characters can't get.
Right.
Like Jan had the forensic kit, right? So you could actually look at the footprints and stuff. And then
Dan had a gun.
And I had a lockpick, and there were like the one door that was locked, the lady never left it, so I could never use it. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Some of that was weird. I really liked the idea.
I did.
I really do.
I liked it a lot as well. I think maybe that's why I'm particularly frustrated, because I feel like we were playing it correctly within the rules. And another thing we should mention is like as you talk to characters, you can ask those characters about other characters in the world.
Yes.
And the neat thing is
you can ask them about the evidence you find as well.
Right. And the neat thing is if Mike goes and unlocks a character to talk to, I myself can talk to the existing person I'm talking to about the person Mike just discovered. So the cooperative nature, besides like coming together at the end of each day to figure out the specific task or goal, is like, okay, like we all split up to find different pieces of evidence, different key characters and everything. And hey, I think it's a good cowboy game, I guess.
Yeah, I had a good time with it.
Last game I have here on the list, I feel like is the thing that is going to haunt us this year.
Oh,
it's going to be the thing that haunts us. Mike, you've been putting in time apparently in Baldur's Gate 3.
How?
Yeah. Well, I kind of had some other things done, and even though there's these other games coming out, I made a decision. Like, look, I'm done with Starfield and some of these other things. I need to play through Baldur's Gate 3. I think it's going to be very important for Game of the Year stuff. I really liked it when I started it, but then just got distracted by things. So I'm making like this effort, I want to say, to at least get back into it. Mm-hmm. It's always weird when you stop playing a game for like a month to get back into it. But once I did, it was just pretty easy for me to be like, oh, this is the game I want to be playing. Mm-hmm. Actually, it has some of the most just like time is fast forwarding while I'm playing this game. I really did spend just most of my weekend playing Baldur's Gate 3 and a lot of my time yesterday after work. I guess after work, I'll do some other things. And then, after work, I'll maybe go out, get some groceries or something. Then by the time I was done playing, it was 1. I was like, oh, I guess I better eat something and then go to bed. That wasn't planned really well. It's so dense. And that's kind of like what I'm figuring out when I'm trying to figure out what about Starfield didn't really resonate with me. I like that density in these kind of RPGs where everywhere I go, there is something not only just like maybe interesting, but definitely interesting. Like in my face, interesting. Like a narrator's gonna pop up and tell me why it's interesting. The three people with me are gonna talk about why it's interesting, and maybe offer to have sex with me while they're at it. So yeah, there was at one point I finished this big question, and then there was a party at my camp. Everyone at that party wanted to get it on with me.
Was
Everybody,
DTF
right
across the board.
And if they didn't, they still talked about why they would. I'd just like say hi. They're like, yeah, you didn't agree with me enough, so we're not gonna have sex tonight, just to be clear. I was like, okay, well, have a nice time. See you later.
I'm going to play this right now. Bye, guys.
Oh man, there's banging in this. What about like kissing?
Oh, there's a little sweet like kissing, but like also some banging.
Mostly, it's just raw fucking. That's what it's really about.
Oh, boy.
And like the combat was like a little tough for me at first because I don't have a lot of just pure D&D experience, but I'm really getting a grip on that. You know what I love is
cantrips. You love cantrips.
I do love cantrips. It took me a while to learn that cantrips are just spells that don't have charge slots, but that's what those are, or abilities.
I thought those were the sharp things you step on.
Me too. I don't know why they're called cantrips. To be clear, not an invitation to tell me why, everyone. But I love leveling up in this game because you actually don't level up much. Like I just got level 5, I think, and I'm 25 hours in.
That's very D&D. The D&D, most D&D campaigns top out at 12, even though you can go up to 20, because after like 13 to 20, it's like, oh, you're god of the universe. That's what the spells are.
Each level up is so impactful. Like leveling up feels so good because you get a ton of stuff. You get so much stronger each time you level up. It really is like glorious to level up in this game. It feels so good. Again, like not to like compare Baldur's Gate 3 to other games constantly.
But you will right now.
Please.
Yeah, but like there's like a lot of games you level up and it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Nothing changed. Nothing changed about how I'm gonna do anything.
It's an empty level.
It's an empty level. Even Sea of Stars actually stingy with the level ups. I like it there too. Like again, I'm going to the end game, level 20. Like that's pretty good actually. I don't think I need to be level 80 because I played a game for 15 hours actually.
I'm with you, Mike. We should get rid of levels in video games.
Well, no, I like levels. Wait, no. I love levels. I'm a little JRPG boy, but there's too many levels.
Just give me a button just so I can get that little taste, a little taste to level up.
Little level is a treat.
Level inflation, like the inflation of levels.
Right.
Like,
they gotta mean something. And you can't have these empty levels.
Played a ton of this. I just got to Act 2, so
that's a while.
Just Act 1. Yeah, it's super beefy. The end of Act 1, really fun. There's this whole thing with this forge you can discover, and you're discovering molds for the forge the whole time. And then you can find some mithril veins if you go off the beaten path, and you can make some cool equipment and fight this really neat boss there. And it's like, man, this is just all like optional stuff I don't have to do, but it feels incredible. I get it. Like the hype is real. I completely understand why this is the game for a lot of people.
Mike, I want to play this before the end of the year. Like I said, I got my trip coming up. I will be taking some stuff with me to play games because that's part of it. It's just like relaxing, kind of doing what I want to get. I want to start again in this game because my save right now has Brock Lesnar.
Why would you want to restart that?
I think playing with friends is fun. Playing with friends is fun, but if you really expect to play through this game, you gotta go it
right. And really, it's Dorfon Golf. But what I'm looking for is pointers. Give me something that I should know.
Here's my pointer, and it's a privilege that we get. Start it on stream and make chat help you because that's what I did. Because I was like, I don't really understand how magic works in these games. And then they explained it to me. I was like, okay, thank you. Now this all makes a good bit more sense. Don't be afraid of the long rest. Because when you use up level slots, they're gone until you do a long rest. You need to spend resources. I was like, should I be maximizing this? Should I be trying to get through some battles without that? Pretty much no. Whenever you get into a big battle, just go do a long rest, get all your spell slots back. You're going to get enough resources. That's not going to be that big of a problem. You can hold quite a lot, so don't be too afraid of picking up. Maybe not the stupidest junk, don't pick up a spoon, but anytime you see a sword, pick it up and go sell it somewhere because you can hold, especially amongst the 4 people, you can hold quite a bit. You can get a lot of gold. You'll be buying plenty of magical items. And I guess the other thing, as exciting as all the spells and stuff are, it's definitely worth having at least one. Sometimes I wonder if I should have 2, just straight up bruisers, just people that can go in and smash people with a sword. That really is where a lot of my damage is coming from. I don't know if I'm correct in that, but that's what it seems like to me.
Do you have a bard?
I do have a bard, actually, because I rolled a cleric, and like one of the first people you meet is Shadowheart, and she's hot, and I wanted her in my party, but she was also a bard. I was like, I can't have, but you can re-roll even the other characters, so I made her a bard instead. So I was like, okay, this makes sense.
Sing me a song.
So so I have her, I have the wizard Gale, and then I have Karlak, the devil mommy, who's a barbarian, I think, but just smash her.
Isn't she racist? What kind of songs is she sing?
No,
Try this in a small town or whatever. Like,
Shadowheart. Yeah. Well, she's Look, I'm gonna fix her. She's got some issues. She fell in with the wrong crowd.
It never works out. It never works out.
No, it's okay because I'm also with Karlak. I'm really.
Oh, you're playing the field is what you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they're okay with that. Karlak even says like, I see that you're with Shadowheart. That's fine. Just save a little for me. Ha ha ha. I was like, sure thing, Karlak.
God, you're such a player.
I know.
Oh no, this is
It's fun. It's
gonna unearth Scumbag Jan, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's what we
Anyway, Grub, there's a bunch of games coming out, as we've said.
Yeah. October.
In October specifically is kind of stacked with them.
Yes. I'm going to put this. Oh, I already did.
Stacked like Karlak.
Yeah, there it is. Lamplighter League just came out. This is that like Indiana Jones looking strategy tiles game. I kind of want to check that out, but apparently it's like so buggy, at least on Xbox. I know people played it and they're like, my Xbox crashed like 40 times playing it. And Jesse mentioned he played it for 30 hours. 10 hours of that was progress because that's how much time you lost playing the game.
Oh my
so
gosh.
Maybe skip over Lamplighters League for now until it gets a few improvements. Disgaea 7 is out. I've never tried the Disgaea games. I like tactics games, so I'm like, maybe I should check it out, but I've never really had a chance.
Can you really just like be like Disgaea 7? That's my first one.
Yeah.
I feel like
even the story probably doesn't matter. It just feels weird.
I think I would probably be fine, but I know why people feel that way. Like, definitely.
We should become John the Arc people instead. Remember those?
Yeah,
sure. All right.
We'll do that.
Yeah, sure.
That'll be our thing. We'll be John the Arc boys.
Assassin's Creed Mirage is out in 2 days. That is so crazy.
That's messed up. They shouldn't. Why they do that?
Front Mission 2 Remake is also out in 2 days.
What?
Wargroove 2 is out in 2
God
days.
damn.
All the Front Mission people that I've heard from say basically wait for Front Mission 3. That's when the series gets pretty good. So
Okay.
I don't think we have to worry about Front Mission 2. Don't worry.
Wargroove 2, I liked Wargroove 1 a little bit. I didn't love it. I bet they figured out a lot of the stuff with Wargroove 2. I remember like moving the guys across the map every single mission where it's like, okay, now we killed everyone over here. Now we got to go all the way over here and take 4 turns to do it. I bet they figured that stuff out. That usually is what happens with these tactics games.
Oh, man.
Shout outs to Wargroove 2 for my fantasy Metacritic league because it got me some points. Thank you.
Did it really? Oh, well, reviews are out.
Yeah.
How are people liking it?
Yeah, I think it's like an 86 Metacritic or something
That's
like
really
that.
okay.
That's really
Okay.
good.
Let me see. I have it open right here. Wargroove 84. So yeah, very
Oh,
cool.
that's good.
Really good.
Lamplighter League looks really good. That's a bummer to
doesn't
hear.
it?
Yeah.
Really
I
good,
think
but
I would really like it, but yeah,
63.
right,
no, wait,
and that's all the bugs. It's the bugs.
76.
Yeah.
It's already up, I guess.
Bug.
Yeah.
Bug.
I do like that, Mike. Not have to use that.
It's good. 63 for Xbox, 76 for PC. That makes sense.
Okay.
Bug is just a fun word to say. It's a funny
It is.
word. You ever think about
You
words
know
like
what's
that's a funny word?
Hey, you know what's another funny word? And then we'll get back to
Boomerang.
the October games? No.
It is, but okay.
Okay, sure. Nut.
Yeah.
boy. Okay.
That's kind of a vulgar, gross word.
Well, it
No.
depends on the context.
Yeah.
All right, Grub, what other
Maybe the way
games
you
are
use it,
coming out?
Mike. Detective Pikachu returns October 6th.
What?
Jan, any chance? Any
What?
chance to play this? 3 days.
Why?
I know.
Are you that interested in it?
Yes,
So,
I
don't know.
love mysteries and Pikachu.
Okay,
Yeah, of
perfect.
course.
I love those things too, and yet I could not care less. I don't know why.
Really?
Jan, maybe we should play this on stream. I would like to see the beginning of this game.
This is gonna be rich coming from the Disney adult, but I like look at this. I'm like, oh, that's a game for babies.
Oh my god.
I know
Yeah,
it's
that's-
toxic. It's toxic. I know, but I'm like,
At least you
Frustrating.
recognize
It's the
it.
cheese pizza
Frustrating.
video games. Is that what you're trying to
it's
say?
the cheese pizza. Where's the pepperoni? Where's the fucking pepperoni in this game? Where's the spicy kick?
Forza Motorsports October 10th. Total War Pharaoh is coming out October 11th.
That's another game I got in my Fantasy Critic League. I need that to do well if I have a shot at first place.
I'm skipping a lot of these, by the way. Honkai Star Rail's coming to PlayStation on October 11th.
What a way to celebrate my birthday. Wow.
Yeah. The Arkham Trilogy on Switch actually got delayed, so no.
It's just insane to have the word honk in a game like that. I'm just going to say it.
Honkers.
What about
Lords of the Fallen,
Nutrail?
October 13th. Lords of the Fallen, by the way, a sequel to a game called Lords of the Fallen.
Cool.
And just a crazy thing to do. SpongeBob SquarePants: The Cosmic Shake is October 16th.
That's been out. Does that come into a new platform?
Oh, has that been? Okay, yeah, that must be a new platform. Thank you.
It did kind of come and go. I
can't keep track of those ones. Yeah. So then we get the Sonic Superstars October 17th. That Hellboy game on October 18th.
What?
Cavern of Dreams is this N64 looking platformer game that looks great. And I'm like going to ask a code for this because that comes October 19th. Seventh Guest VR is October 19th. Let's see here.
Man, I thought no. I watched my brother play 11th Hour, the sequel to 7th Guest, and I was like, well, this is the scariest thing in the world. And I'm sure now it's nothing.
Gargoyles Remastered is October 19th.
Oh, John Drake will remaster Gargoyles, but not Quackshot.
He himself will do it. Yes.
Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged is October 19th. Then Spider-Man 2, October 20th. Super Mario Brothers Wonder the same day.
Oh, that's insane. That day's insane. What are you doing? That's crazy.
What a day.
Yep.
What a day.
Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1, 4 days later on October 24th. Ghost Runner 2 is October 26th. Alan Wake
Ghost Runner
2,
2, you got to get out of there. Ghost Runner 2.
Alan Wake 2 is a day later, October 27th.
Ghost Runner 2, you got to get out of there. What are you doing?
Yeah, for your own safety.
EA Sports UFC is October 27th. Toussaint, that climbing game that I really enjoyed the demo of.
Oh, yeah, that was
Halloween
cool.
Day, that's coming.
Wow.
October 31st. That's a crazy busy month. That is
just
a lot
October.
of games. And that's just October. That's nothing that's come out so far. There will be more stuff in November, but October, very, very
November
busy.
can't be as bad, right? No way.
I know, it's because it's
there's like Mario RPG and a Call of Duty, right? Like
there's more. I think there's more stuff now.
Sure, there's more, but like, yeah.
Did I mention City Skylines 2 is October 24th? Did I say that?
I don't remember.
Get out of there, City Skyline 2. What are you doing? Get out of there.
Yes, get out of there.
You could come out in December. It'll be fine.
City Skylines 2, go to December. You'll do great in December. But we'll see.
These games.
Yep.
Swimming in the deep end.
Yeah,
not knowing what's going on.
They're rowing in the deep?
Yeah, exactly that.
Thanks, Adele.
I have my heart and soul.
That does it for October. Jan, back to you.
You played it.
All right. The problem is I didn't play it. I haven't played it. I have no time to play it. Holy smokes, that's an obscene amount.
Record chat says, please stop.
Holy smokes.
Dan, you said I didn't know music. See, I got music.
That's an obscene amount of games. We can't. And
Don't these nuts. I don't even know what that means.
I don't. No one does, but it's provocative. It's great.
Bug.
I need another cup of Joe. I'm gonna go make it, and then we'll go talk about video game news right after this quick break.
It's gonna be all good things, I'm sure.
I'm talking things. Oh no.
Oh no. All right. We'll see you soon. All right, we're back with the Giant Bombcast, episode 809, God's favorite podcast, the most handsome podcast. Before we get to the news, Jeff Grubb, I just want to list one more grievance with Disneyland.
Please.
God.
There's more coffee everywhere. Come on, that's it. That's all I want.
Yeah, if you're not gonna allow us to do the hard drugs, make the legal drugs more readily available.
Like there's that
please.
cartoon of like Donald Duck like shaking and holding the cups of coffee. Just give me that in Toontown.
Now,
That's a good cartoon. I like.
Do you have to have the Starbucks, or can you go to one of the other coffee stands to get your fix?
I'm fine.
Talking to Jan.
Yeah, please don't insult Jan in front of me like that, Mike Minotti.
I was about to bring my own packets of instant into the park and just
Your third wave instant coffee, you mean?
Yes, my third wave instant coffee.
You have a brand of instant that you're okay with?
Oh, that's the big thing, Bacalar. Get on board. Third wave is all about instant these days.
This is why I know Jeff Grubb listens to me when I speak, because this is such a
third wave
stupid sentence to say.
Wait,
Hey, but you know where I heard it from you, Jan.
I know.
Jeff doesn't retain anything I tell him.
Who are you?
all right, third wave. Okay, I'll keep it in the car.
I'll bring some Sampies over. Next
Is
time.
instant
I would love that.
Is instant coffee usually more like grainy than the non-instant?
You just have to like stir it better. Is
All
the
right.
problem? Also, it generally will have a little bit more caffeine than your regular pour over coffee.
I'm sure that doesn't bother you.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. It's
Okay.
the juice, yo. But yeah, I don't know. Just have like a little coffee fountain for all the adults. It is still bean based, Dan. That just because
Still
it's instant, that
bean-based.
doesn't mean it changes. All right, Jeff Grubb news.
Jeff Grubb news.
This is the news with Jeff Grubb.
All right, everybody. I'm going to need everybody to buckle in. It is not a good week for news. A lot of bummer stories that we're going to talk about here. You're going to notice a theme here pretty quickly.
Fuckle up.
So buckle up. Let's start with a little bit of breaking news. Twitch has made another round of layoffs. I picked this one from gamesindustry.biz, which is actually most of the wording is going to come from them, so credit to them. Twitch has laid off employees for the second time this year. Today's cuts were reported by Today Off Stream's Zach Boosie, who said the cuts were significantly smaller than the March round, which included more than 400 people. A source familiar with the situation told gamesindustry.biz that today's layoffs were limited to the customer experience organization as the company shifts to rely more on outsourcing vendors to fulfill those roles. The March cuts came as part of plans from a parent company, Amazon, to reduce payroll by 9,000 employees. Obviously, this is still a part of that overall effort. These are I don't know, when I read something like this is a company trying to cut costs, and that's why, I think a lot of these stories we're going to talk about, you're going to hear QA is where they're cutting, and you're going to hear something like customer service and customer experience. These are relatively easy cuts to make if you're a company looking to save a bunch of money by getting rid of payroll. And then there are services out there where you can outsource it, and so these companies, ruthless as they are doing exactly that. Why they continue to feeling the need to cut costs? There's a lot of uncertainty out there still, but mostly it's just poor decisions by management, and it's hitting the people who actually do the work. As always, that's going to be the thing that's happening with all these stories for sure.
I feel like a lot of the uncertainty is also just caused by the folks at the top. You know?
Yes, I mean there's more examples of that in certain situations than others, but like I mean across the board. Who really should be blamed for the financial situation of a company or not having a vision about what to do in the future, which is another common thing across all these companies. That's the people at the top. And we don't hear ever about them taking cuts. I suppose that they would argue that a lot of their income comes from the value of the stock. So if they are doing a good job, the market will determine that. And if they're not doing a good job, the stock will go down and they do get a pay cut. It's like, no, you're still getting that salary. There's still a lot of stuff where you are definitely getting paid.
There are infinite amount of ways to manipulate that as well.
Yes, 100%. And they are manipulating that.
Exactly. Like, let's be realistic.
Yep, absolutely. It's regardless of like the machinations of it, the appearance of it is people at the bottom getting hurt, people at the top getting away scot-free and continuing to be in charge. So, I guess not at all these companies. Some of these companies are seeing executives leave. We'll talk about a lot of that. Not necessarily related to that, though. Seemingly, Jim Ryan is leaving PlayStation. Jim Ryan is stepping down as CEO.
Sorry, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
It's okay. It's okay, Jeff. Let the tears out. I said we'd have an emotional breakdown today. This is it.
I don't know what I'm going to do,
space.
guys. The Sony Interactive Entertainment CEO is leaving in March 2024. Hiroki Totoki, who is basically everything at the C-suite level of Sony, is going to take over as the interim CEO in March. For now, though, he is immediately taking over as chairman of Sony Interactive Entertainment, basically to help guide this role transition into a new person that will take over at some point in the future. Ryan said that he didn't like working in North America and living in Europe. That's his cited reason for no longer being there. Not a ton of reason to doubt that. He's always been a big Europe first guy. A weird thing to say, but that's true. He loves Europe, and so I kind of buy him on that. But if I try to look at anything else that's happened here, the next story is going to be, hey, they're cutting jobs at some of these studios. Even I wonder if PlayStation is at a point where he's done everything he can without having to get to the hard decisions of, oh, well, let's just spend less money and let's see what that looks like. So far, he has done let us get very aggressive about raising prices. Let's get money wherever we can. He's done made a lot of those decisions. And PlayStation, very, very healthy. But it's inside a Sony corporation that overall is not as healthy, not nearly as healthy. And PlayStation is the shining jewel there. So PlayStation couldn't leave any nickel or dime unaccounted for. They had to go after everything. Now it feels like the wind is blowing in a direction of a lot of these companies being like, okay, we've done a lot of that stuff. Now it's time to cut jobs. And I wonder, and this is me speculating, I wonder if Jim Ryan's like, I don't want that to be my legacy. I launched the PlayStation 5. I built PlayStation Europe into a strong juggernaut, and now I'm getting out while the getting's good. I don't know. Do you guys buy that? What do you guys think?
Yeah, no, execs are always looking for kind of a high point to leave on. Reggie left Nintendo after the Switch launched. Bob Iger left Disney the first time after his launch of Disney Plus and the Fox deal went through. He's like, all right, now everything's great. Yeah. Right, nothing bad can ever happen again. So yeah, if you're looking for a time to leave where almost it seems like there's going to have to be a little down period at some point, almost a course correct. And seems like that could very easily be coming if, one of your top studios is having layoffs of its own and its live service game maybe isn't going to work out. Maybe that whole live service plan that you had seems a little rocky now with the state of live service games we've seen in the last couple months. This is probably the time to get out.
And I think we'll have an opportunity to talk about the live service stuff across the board for all these things here in a moment. What Mike's referring to, Naughty Dog is cutting contract workers. Naughty Dog laid off at least 25 contract workers, mostly in the QA department. No severance was offered to these employees. We'll call them employees. They did not call them employees. The multiplayer spinoff of The Last of Us is also reportedly on ice. It's not canceled, but on ice. And I'll say, for a long time now, I've heard that people would go look at the game and they'd be like, hey, Naughty Dog, it seems like you're doing things your own way, and that's going to be big and expensive and dangerous and risky with a live service game. And Naughty Dog just either didn't care or could not process that feedback and do anything actionable with it. So this game has been in a tough position for a long time. Obviously, now we've heard the Bungie went there and looked at it, but we can't release this game as is. We got to do something here. And that led to the game being put on ice. That's an example of, hey, we are chasing a trend. We're going to put a lot of money and effort into that. And it's not even not going to work out. It's not even going to get the opportunity to work out, it seems like. And that is where I think a lot of the uncertainty comes from. These companies have chased trend after trend after trend. And the only trend that really ever effectively worked was free to play. It was, let's make games free to play because people like playing games and they hate spending money. That's the one that's worked. And now that is saturated. And so they're looking for these other new things and they don't want to miss out on the boat. And those boats, people don't actually care about live service or anything like that. Some people, they definitely get into those games, but no one's like, I can't wait to play the next live service game. People are like, I can't wait to not pay money for the next game I'm going to play. That obviously was effective. But I don't think that there is any obvious trend now out there that has been untapped. And all these companies are looking around and they're like, borrowing money is really expensive because of interest rates. I'm sure the industry overall is pretty healthy, but we're not necessarily sure that growth is a sure thing. Like the next generation of gamers, they're playing Roblox and they're playing all these other things. Are we going to be able to win them over to consoles even? There's a lot of question marks out there.
I've been hearing nothing but infinite growth. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And that's exactly where, like, I think for all these companies, they are looking around and being like, we don't know how to actually even come up with a plan right now to convince investors that we know how to accomplish that. That's the scary thing here. That's where they're at. I think a lot of these companies that we're also going to keep talking about have had successful games. Obviously, PlayStation, just unmitigated success. It is just, there is no caveat there to that statement. Everything they've done has worked, and yet they're still not sure about the future, and that's a strange place to be in.
I mean, this is the first kind of crack in the armor for Naughty Dog. It feels like since they've been on the kind of Uncharted wave that started forever ago.
Yes.
This kind of means it's interesting to see it come even for them.
Yeah, and it's again, I think they would be like, well, it's just the QA people.
Yeah, well, fuck that.
Fuck that. Yeah, I think that we these distinctions between like skill roles or the people doing grunt work, it's like, no, that this is the people come to Naughty Dog feel like they're part of a team, and QA is important, and now you're going to probably start outsourcing that. Obviously, you're doing that because you are more worried about future uncertainty than you are about this level of quality that you've committed to yourself for a very long time. And it seems like one of those things is going to pay, and the thing that's going to pay is maybe the quality.
Well, and I assume that these are all, QA people who are meant to work on the live service game. And then because of people in charge of making sure the live service game would work or even release, they messed up. Yep. So who's going to pay the price now? It's going to be the people who are supposed to do the QA for the game.
Let's see. Let's just actually let's come back to this Knights of the Old Republic story, Jan. So let's skip down to let's see. Actually, Creative Assembly. Okay. Let's do that one real quick. Creative Assembly is canceling Hyenas and cutting jobs. Creative Assembly has confirmed that it will be making redundancies following the cancellation of Hyenas, which was their live service game that they were making underneath Sega. Creative Assembly is a Sega studio. Sega announced on Thursday that it was canceling the multiplayer shooter, which was going to be maybe an extraction kind of game. People who've played it didn't seem too high on it. Creative Assembly has begun a redundancy consultation process in some areas of its UK operations, meaning it is looking to cut jobs. Creative Assembly will prioritize supporting its people at every step, it says. But the cancellation of the game means that this is a major project that was getting funding, and now probably that funding's not coming from anywhere. This is maybe the most prime example of you had a studio, Creative Assembly, that carried Sega on its back for a decade straight with great PC releases, and now they were operating in a world where, in order to get funding under a publisher like Sega, to be like, hey, we want to start a new project. Well, can you make it a live service game? So I'm like, fuck, all right, I guess we'll go figure out how we're gonna make a live service game. Extraction shooters. Will that pitch get greenlit? I guess we could try that. They tried, and then Sega, like every other publisher right now, has sort of lost their taste for making these big live service pushes, and Creative Assembly has to pay that price. A studio, again, that just was hitting home run after home run on PC for Sega. Completely unfair situation. And this is happening everywhere in gaming right now.
Yeah, while Sega was doing things like Sonic 06, right?
Yes.
There's Creative Assembly that was actually making hits on PC. This market Sega really had no idea about. They helped carry that company pretty quietly, but they helped carry Sega. I don't even know if there would be a Sega if it wasn't for
I don't know.
Creative Assembly, or at least studios like Creative Assembly. Yep.
Yeah. I was like, hey, that turns out like, hey, Sega on PC, that's a real thing. And it's like, yeah, what fuck all are they doing anywhere else? Nothing. So yeah, that's an especially frustrating one. But at the same time, like, I'm not suggesting, well, see through Hyenas, make that work. Clearly, that's not an option either. These live service games were a bad idea in many cases. Were any of these things ever going to turn into Fortnite? I think all of us know, no, of course not, right?
No.
Yeah.
Creative Assembly is putting out that Total War Pharaoh here pretty soon. Hopefully it does well for them, and they can
probably be great.
I'm sure the game's going to be good.
I'm rooting for it because of the Metacritic League, but I picked it because, like, those games, people always like those games.
There was a pattern already established. It's fine.
And
everyone always
a
likes
great setting for Total War. Absolutely.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, let's do these other layoff stories. Epic is laying off nearly 900 people. Epic Games, 16% of its workforce It announced earlier this week, two-thirds of the layoffs were in teams outside of core development, music marketplace, Bandcamp, and web services firm Super Awesome have been divested from in terms of Epic's investment in them. They're selling them off to other people or just spending them off on their own. Mediatonic, who made Fall Guys, they got hit with layoffs. Pretty significant. It sounds
around.
Like. Yes, yeah. That game is just, again, you would look at it and be like, that is a success. That is what you want from that level of live service game. It doesn't have to be the biggest thing in the world.
Yeah, but is it the most popular it's ever been in all of time at this very moment? No. Well, shit.
Yep.
Guess we got to upend people's lives.
And so, what was it making money? Probably. But we lost money doing the metaverse. We lost money with all this other shit.
God.
We lost money fighting Steam. We lost money fighting Apple and Google.
And they lost money because they spent all this time doing like the creator stuff in Fortnite, and then they're whining. Well, the people who use the creator stuff aren't spending as much money as the people who just play regular Fortnite.
Even when they do, apparently the profit margins are way lower than they were when they sold something in Fortnite proper. It's like,
it's wild.
What did you do all this for? What are you talking about?
It's so fucking insane. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. And anyone who tries to defend it is full of shit. Okay.
I don't see how to defend any of this.
People will defend it. The people who stand to benefit from the gross reduction of staffing, like they will defend it, right?
Yeah.
I've had weirdos on Twitter defending it, so anyone will defend it. Yes.
What rocket fucking scientists talking to you?
Are they verified? They're verified.
They're probably verified. Verified dumbass.
Yeah, verified twice. Okay. Like I do not understand how we can walk around this planet and be like, Epic is the most successful developer ever. They have a game that prints money hand over fist.
They won the lottery. Won the lottery. Remember what Fortnite was?
Yeah,
exactly.
It was writing off
original idea. Yes.
Yeah. It was running, yeah, exactly. And then that didn't work. We'll just copy that PUBG thing. Oh, we have the biggest game ever now. Great. What do we do now? Fuck if I know. Let's just throw money everywhere.
Well, I think that's exactly the thing. Their success was an unoriginal idea. They turned Fortnite into PUBG, and they had the engine so they can make it a very good version of that. I'm not taking that away from it. But then they were like, well, we have all this money. Let's do what we do best, original ideas. And they're like, all right, let's go make a store like Valve. Oh, shit, that's not working. Let's take our games, or let's anger Apple and Google so much that we're not even allowed to have our games on mobile. So we're losing out on all that money for years and years and years. And why? Because Tim Sweeney has a bug up his ass about this shit. It's like everyone else has to deal with inconveniences in their life. Everyone else has to deal with, you go to the store and that costs more for me to pay for it than it is for them to produce. That's not fair. That's a tax. It's not a fucking tax, Tim Sweeney. It's a fee. Everyone in life pays it. Why are you the only weirdo who is like, oh, this is an affront to me and I'm going to go out there and fight it and put out goddamn cartoons?
Right.
You're bad at this.
Cartoons and merch. Cartoons and merch. It's one thing if you did just have infinite money, but you clearly don't, because as soon as you stop making as much money as you want to, you start laying people off.
This motherfucker doubled his wealth in the last 5 years or something insane like that, right? I don't understand how the whims of a psychopath are then fallen upon 1,000 people who work for this company. It drives me fucking crazy.
Here's a statement. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Just saying, I don't understand how anyone can fucking stand there and be like, the system is working. It's not fucking working. Doesn't work. It's designed to fuck you over, right? So just organize. It works. Organizing works. Look around this year for labor. Look around. It works. It takes way too long. It takes way fucking too long, but it obviously fucking works.
Yeah, and Tim Sweeney's statement, I find this infuriating as well. For a while now, we've been spending way more money than we earn, investing in the next evolution of Epic and growing Fortnite as a metaverse-inspired ecosystem for creators.
Oh my god!
I had long been optimistic that we could power through this transition without layoffs, but in retrospect, I see this was unrealistic. While Fortnite is starting to grow again, the growth is driven primarily by creator content with significant revenue sharing, and this is a lower margin business than we had when Fortnite Battle Royale took off and began funding our expansion. Success with the creator ecosystem is a great achievement, but it means a major structural change to our economics. Epic folks around the world have been making ongoing efforts to reduce costs, including moving to net zero hiring, which means if they have to hire someone, they have to fire someone else, and cutting operating spend on things like marketing and events. But we still ended up far short of our financial sustainability. We concluded that layoffs are the only way, and that doing them now and on this scale will stabilize our finances.
Bullshit.
Yeah, it's a load of horse shit is what it is. It's we can look at it from the outside and know this was not the only option. The option was to be a sane person from the beginning and look at what you have and build a sustainable business for the people who made that possible in the first place, which were the employees, and not chase down every single little thing that annoys Tim Sweeney. This is the worst example out of all these companies, and it's just so plainly obvious what happened here.
You know, the thing that sucks is the general gaming public probably won't realize this, but like this has really soured enjoyment of a game like Fortnite completely for me. Like I don't feel good at all coming back to it in a good chunk of time. And I feel part of the problem because I didn't cancel that stupid Fortnite subscription for months. Yeah, and it just feels terrible. Tim Sweeney,
That's
watch
why
out.
they make subscriptions.
Yeah.
That's why they do that.
You know you fucked up when somehow Roblox is looking like the lesser of two evils at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay? That's how you know you done fucked up.
Yo, Tim Sweeney, watch out for any big air ducts above you, homie. Watch out.
You should have stayed in that fucking tree, Tim Sweeney.
Fucking, I'm a punch down.
Yeah, this is what happens from here. For Epic, they're going to just keep making a lot of money. They probably will hire up again and then do layoffs again in the future. I really don't expect the leadership of that company to change their direction. But the idea that you can make all of those obvious mistakes and just baffling mistakes and then go out there and say the only way to deal with it is to fire other people and not take responsibility yourself by taking a cut yourself, any sort of gesture,
Anything.
Anything.
That's how it works.
Not even a small cut. Not even the pretense of any thing for him.
And it's like we probably like listen. If you still cut all those jobs and you do some little gesture, yeah, we're still gonna kind of criticize you. Absolutely,
of course.
But something would be better than nothing.
Hey, Tim, maybe take a pay cut.
Maybe
No.
No
way.
Absolutely.
Couldn't.
It's or just put the fucking games back on iOS and Google.
That'd be a lot of money.
That'd probably pay for all this.
It would absolutely pay for it.
What are we
Yeah.
talking about, Tim?
You literally his employees bailing him out by sacrificing their jobs. That's the bailout. Everyone gets bailed out unless you are at the bottom. You don't get bailed out. You get fucked in the face.
Yep.
Not even the cool kind.
Not even in
Baldur's Gate 3.
Not even like Baldur's Gate 3. All right, let's see here. Which one of these stories I skipped? It was the Knights of the Republic one. Actually, no. Let's hit this other layoff story. Team 17 is cutting jobs. Team 17 is planning to lay off around 50 employees. The layoffs will affect the company's QA department. Michael Pattinson is set to step down as CEO of Team 17's publishing arm. Debbie Bestwick, the CEO of Team 17 Group, is also planning to step down. This is the latest in a stream of mass layoffs taking place across the games industry this year. This is also one where it's like the Team 17 is the people that made Worms. Mm-hmm. They've tried to shift into this publishing business. They've had a lot of successful games that have done very well, but they seem to, and this is stuff they've talked about, I think, in financials, struggled to dial in where on the spectrum they're supposed to be. Are they supposed to be a kind of tiny, scrappy publisher? Should they be growing into a big publisher? And that uncertainty led to a situation where they kind of spread themselves too thin. And this publisher kind of, even with the successes they've had, like back to uncertainty, and one game can kind of go bad, and now here they are. But unlike Epic or any of these other companies, really, CEOs stepping down is something, taking some form of responsibility. It's not going to make up for people losing their jobs, but it is some form of responsibility. Okay, let's see here. Let's hit this one. Epic Game Store boss is leaving. Sergey Galonkin, Epic Games Director of Publishing Strategy, is leaving the company. It is unclear if his departure is directly related to widespread job cuts at Epic. Galunkin said he was not a good fit for where Epic is headed as a company. Galunkin is the creator of Steam Spy. He joined Epic in 2016. Galunkin's experience from Steam Spy were used to help develop Epic's Steam competitor, the Epic Game Store. Steam Spy is a sort of database that has a lot of information and analytics about how Steam and Steam sales work and like the actual selling of games on Steam, how that stuff works. Galunkin was tapped as like, hey, take that experience and make Epic Game Store a thing, make it work, and make it kill Steam, which was always going to be impossible. But I think the underlying thing here is they have identified that as the Epic Game Store and trying to beat Steam at its own game as tilting at windmills, and they're no longer going to try it. And Galunkin's like, well, that's my expertise, my area of expertise, so I think I'm going to dip. That's how I read it. I don't know. You guys think, I mean, I've gotten the sense for a while now, Epic Game Store was pulling back on a lot of things. They were doing fewer of those exclusives that are paying to keep games off Steam. They still happen here and there, but most of the time it's something like Alan Wake 2, which is a game they published, and they're acting as a publisher, which isn't what they were doing before, which was a finished game going to the publisher of that game, paying them money to keep it off Steam. They've done a lot less of that, which I think signified that they are pulling back from Epic Game Store. Do you guys get the same sense?
It definitely feels like they've been slowing down a considerable amount versus how much they were trying to build up even earlier this year in terms of exclusives and even just marketing that.
Yep.
It's been around too long now. If it's not, if it hasn't become a thing now, it's just never going to become a thing. I don't know how much longer Epic Game Store can really last. You know, it might exist as a shell of itself that's almost more of a launcher than anything else with a store aspect to it. Kind of like what it originally was, right? Like it was basically just the Fortnite launcher. I could see it going back to that, and I could see them going back to Steam. I mean, God, we're in a world where Overwatch is on Steam, right? Even Battle.net games are showing up on Steam.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, go ahead, Backlog, please.
I was going to say, even in a vacuum, that software is not good. Like, you know, even where in a world where Steam does not exist, that is still bad.
It's slow. It's cumbersome.
It's crazy. It's just crazy.
My game library doesn't load one out of every 2 times.
Yeah, it's very
strange.
Slow.
Selfishly, I'm worried about my library. But you know, like, it just doesn't seem like it's had any kind of TLC in a very long time. So
Kingdom Hearts is still fucking stuck on there. I want to play Kingdom Hearts on my Steam Deck. Come on.
Tony Third grievance 2 just got off there.
Third grievance with Disneyland. I didn't.
The line for.
I did not see Kingdom Hearts Mickey or Goofy.
Oh no!
I'm so sorry.
I thought you were gonna complain about the line. Okay, dang it.
I would have waited in line. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I would have waited in that line. Hell yeah.
Someone mentioned Assassin's Creed Mirage is going to be exclusive to Epic Game Store as opposed to being on Steam. They did change their way that they do that recently, where instead of getting the big upfront payment, sounds like they're not going to do that anymore. Instead, what they're going to do is, if you put your game on Epic Game Store exclusively, meaning again, not being on Steam, for 6 months, you get 100% of the revenue from those sales, and then after that, it shifts to after that 6 months, it shifts to 8218 or whatever, 8812, that's what it was. So 88% of the revenue goes to the developer or the publisher. So I think some of these studios are going to keep taking advantage of that, but it's not a big payday up front, where in some cases these developers were getting millions of dollars just to put their stuff on Epic Game Store. So again, slowing down. All right, let's see. Backing up to Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic here. Sony has hidden trailers for Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake. References to the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake have been taken offline by some of PlayStation's primary social media accounts. The game was announced as a timed PS5 console exclusive in 2021. The tweet announcing the game has been deleted, and the title's reveal trailer has been made private. This has caused speculation that the game could be canceled. Embracer Group, Aspire's parent company, has been restructuring and canceling projects. Aspire not even working on this anymore. It's now Saber Interactive. That's still under Embracer, though. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake has reportedly been beset with problems. Definitely stuff we've heard before. But Lars Wingefors, the CEO of Embracer, has refused to comment on the game's status. And I think Steven Totillo was asking Sony about this, and they said basically everything except for it's still in the works. They were like, hey, go ask Embracer about the state of the game. So I haven't thought this game's coming out for a long time. I'm more certain than ever based on what's happening here.
Yeah, it's a bummer because just I saw that reveal trailer again, or just a screen cap from it, and just seeing that, like, redone Darth Revan. I'm like, yeah, Darth Revan rules. That would have been neat. The good news is that Knights of the Old Republic, still a very good game.
Yes.
Unless you like really have an aversion to just slightly older games, slightly, I guess at this point, this game's like 20 something years old, but I think it still holds up really well. I played through it again when it came to Switch. Didn't even mean to. I thought I was just gonna see what it looked like.
Is that the best version to play right now?
I mean, I'm sure if you got like PC version, and I bet there's even some mods that can help with some things there. But I mean,
it's perfectly fine on Switch, though.
Perfectly fine on Switch. Played really well. I had a couple crashes, and that was when it first came out. Maybe that won't be a problem. But I thought it was very easy to play on Switch because I mean, this was originally on Xbox, right? This isn't one of those ones where you really have to be like, well, obviously play it on PC. This was made for consoles, so I thought it was pretty comfortable and pretty handy to play on Switch.
Yeah, despite being a Star Wars mark, I missed the boat on KOTOR. And I've been KOTOR curious.
What you think of it.
Do you know the twists and the turns?
I think I do, but like I don't know how it happens.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, you would still have a good time with it.
It's still great.
Yes.
Okay.
It's still, especially like, it's funny because like a lot of the stuff that seemed maybe a little outdated in KOTOR was just how kind of naked the dice rolls are in it, which maybe felt weird to people who are more used to Mass Effect. Now Baldur's Gate brought the dice rolls back, baby. So it is
literally just D&D rules. It's D&D 3.5 rule set. It's 100% that. Like they just licensed that to use it in the game. So there's that stuff is a bit cumbersome sometimes, but I don't think in any way that's not fun. I think it's fun through and through. I have a great time with it.
Someone make a clever show name so I have an excuse to play it.
Knights Ochoa, the Old Republic.
Knights Ochoa?
Ochoa Republic. We'll workshop this. Don't worry. JoTor is pretty good, actually.
I'm done with the bad news. You guys ready for some good news?
Please.
Yeah, I don't believe you.
Oh, I see which one you're hyping.
Molyneux's blockchain business sim is launching next month, Jeff Bakalar. What's not to believe?
Okay, I take it back.
I want to go home.
Legacy is a business simulation game based on blockchain technology. Players own pieces of land in Legacy deed keys that correspond to the rarity of their land. Players can buy land on NFT marketplace OpenSea, a thing that will still be a going concern in years, I'm sure. Legacy was announced in late 2021 when the NFT and blockchain craze was at its peak. The cryptocurrency market has since seen a huge crash. Legacy is created by Molyneux Studio, 22 Cans. Previous games were Goddess, Curiosity, that tapping game.
I named 22 cans. All I can think of is 22 bare asses just lined up. Some of them flatulating.
Cans is like a top tier word for butts.
Yeah.
It's like a really good word for butts. Love those cans.
Yeah, just oh, in a lie. He's really lost it finally, huh?
Has he not been online in the last couple years?
No, he's a master of timing.
Jan, this is elder abuse, right? Someone's just like popping him out there, and they're doing this in his name or whatever.
When you put it like that.
He was afraid to show his face for a while because he had that weird click on blocks game, and the winner of that was supposed to. He was supposed to get
there was a scandal with
the whole point of that was, hey, click the last block and you win a life-changing prize. And the guy won. He was supposed to get profits from his next God game.
Right, he was going to help design it or whatever. We'll take your ideas.
Just didn't really pan out at all. So
Goddess, that one's one that got kickstarted a couple times. Right? I can't remember.
Yeah, got it. It was supposed to be his new Populous because he did Populous, and it was just a fucking disaster. So so come back, lay low for a while. And you think okay, you've been humbled. You're going to come back and just make a new Fable, make a new Black or whatever. No, it's this shit. What?
I will say, listen, whatever with this. But if Dennis Dyack wants to come back and make a Web3 game, I would do that. I would. Oh my god, let's fucking go.
Dennis Dyack was so toxic that he did just do the thing where he's like, hey, I just want to Kickstarter a spiritual successor to Eternal Darkness. You all like that? And the internet was like, no.
No, thank you. You suck.
Don't like you. Get out of here.
Man. Because he would always get in fights with NeoGaf and shit. He was...
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah, he was just...
Good.
Yeah.
The definition of petty.
Yep. All right, finally, two more stories here. Switch will continue to get support next year. Nintendo will continue to support the Switch until the end of the current fiscal year, ending March 2024. Then the Switch will continue to see new software in the next fiscal year as well, according to President Shintaro Furukawa. Nintendo has dispatched the Switch 2 development kits to key partners, according to sources, with a launch plan for the second half of 2024. They're going to probably follow something pretty similar to what happened with the 3DS, which continued to get games after the Switch launched. But this is the president of Nintendo saying this. I'm a little bit skeptical of them, like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a ton of games after the Switch 2 comes out, because they got burned pretty bad by doing that with the 3DS.
Yeah, like what, that remake of Bowser's Inside Story in 3DS is like the lowest selling Mario game ever. Destroyed Alpha Dream, and like a bunch of some of the other stuff. That 2D Pikmin game no one played. There was a remake of or port of Luigi's Mansion 1 on 3DS that I think most people forget exists. So yeah, the late
they're
3DS
doing that with Luigi's
stuff.
Mansion again. So we do know games are coming out next year. Princess Peach Showtime, Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, all due out in 2024. After that, I don't think they need to put out much more than that. Will you guys be upset if software support dies off for the Switch the day the Switch 2 comes out? Because I would not be.
No, I'd understand.
Yep.
It had
plenty of games.
A real long
games.
life. It had a real long life. And more good games than maybe any console ever. It's fine. We can move on.
Yeah,
yep, I agree. Finally, Baldur's Gate 3 Studio shaves the cat. Baldur's Gate 3 Hotfix 8 addresses several crashes and issues, including party members transferring every important item to the player upon dismissal. Most importantly, though, His Majesty the cat has been shaved again after players complained about the change in his appearance in a previous patch. So apparently, this cat was always supposed to have fur, but the fur didn't load with the original game. And then
like Dr. Evil cat.
So players got used to that.
I thought it was
like, oh my god, I love this bald cat. And then they fixed it. Put the fur back on.
I don't know.
The bald. Oh yeah. I mean, no, to be fair, I did write it that way.
That's how
fair. We're all thinking it.
Okay. All right.
Mike's too wholesome. Dan Reichert was definitely thinking, that guy's got a filthy mind.
I don't think I've seen any pubic hair yet, because you could just
ever
make them. You could just. I'll try. No. Do you see this? Are you kidding me? But because you could just take their clothes off and their character menus, you can see everything.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think I've noticed any pubic hair. They're also everyone's very smooth in those games.
Well, good for them. All right. That does it for the news. Jan, please take this show back.
You did this, Jan. Don't look at me.
I'm not blaming you, Mike. It's just how Grubb wrote it, and I thought that's interesting that this is a new story, but I guess everything else is so dour.
We didn't talk about pubic hair. Yeah.
I don't even know what to make of this comment from chat. Winship says Mike is going to heaven.
I mean,
because you're so pure.
Like out of the four of us, and then
that makes sense.
Grubb definitely, and then Baclar and I we're like holding on to each other.
I'll put in a good word for you guys. Like
yeah. Put in a.
I bet after like 10,000 years or something, God's gonna mellow out a bit and he'll take in some people.
Sure, yeah.
You guys
are eternal damnation. Like that's a bit much.
Come on,
you guys are going to hell simply because you are unaware Jews don't believe in hell.
Oh, okay. Shit.
How convenient. How convenient is that? There was a funny hard drive story.
I was literally going to bring this up. This is what I've been waiting to do it, but it's great.
Hades diversity is unrealistic because there aren't enough white people in its hell.
I didn't say it. I
love that. That one really got me. I literally laughed out loud when I read that.
I love that. Yep. God fucking damn
it. Folks, we're going to take a quick breaky break. Go read something that'll make you laugh. I don't know.
No.
Anything. Like a fun Sunday comic. Yeah.
Calvin Hobbes. People still like
Sunday
Calvin Hobbes,
comic.
right? Do people know? Are people still discovering Calvin Hobbes?
People apparently rediscovered The Far Side like 2 years ago. I guess
Far Side's having a moment.
Yo,
I think.
Yeah.
Snoopy, real big right now. Snoopy stock on the rise, y'all. Go invest in some Snoopy.
We're in our Peanuts era.
We're in our Peanuts era. Peanuts.
Verse.
Peanuts?
Peanuts. We're back with emails. These are the emails for the show. Emails. I am very tempted to add more sounds to this podcast.
Yeah.
Feel like we're a very soundboard light show.
Yeah, I think we need to just introduce them slowly but steadily.
Or all at once. You know?
All at once.
Well, maybe not played all at once, but I get your meaning.
Like,
sure.
I keep seeing that arcade button configuration thing with just hella buttons. It's just like a MIDI controller. And I just want to like just slam them with stuff. Like,
let's freaking go.
Yeah.
There you go.
You know? Sounds from
Thanks, Blessing.
From our friends across the internet and everything. Maybe
What is
like
this, Jeff?
like a dodgeball sound hitting something. God, that's so good. I wish I should have just had that playing the whole time.
Jeff, you gotta play my favorite now.
Forgot. Oh.
You know my favorite, Jeff.
Oh yeah, I got it right here. I got it right here for you. Hang on, let me look for the. I just look for the picture.
It's Donald Duck for real.
There we go.
Not a lot of Donald Ducks at Disneyland for some reason.
For real?
Well, it's not very scary, right?
There was like that one where he's in the devil costume.
Yeah, give him
Oh,
fangs.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's that, and there's the famous Trick or Treat cartoon where his nephews come to his house and he does not give them candy or something. So then the nephews have to get a witch to torture Donald Duck for a while.
He's a genuine psycho. Like just
I love him.
Like flip flopping on literally everything. Like no one could get a clean read on Donald. He's like super nice 1 minute, a total fucking asshole to his nephews the next. Like what's happening?
You know, I think Donald Duck is the perfect distillation of everyone here at Giant Bomb.
Yeah.
Okay.
A
Well,
complete
Donald Duck's whole thing is
psychopath.
Donald Duck's whole thing is that he can dish it out, but he can't take it, and I identify with that.
See, there we go.
Pretty hard.
I think we can all find a little Donald Duck in ourselves.
Mike's on a little bit of a losing streak with some of our stuff, our games over at Game Mess, and he reacted, I'll say strongly, when I tried to do a little research for one of our games. It's a very good clip.
Yeah, we do a game where we predict Metacritic scores, and Jeff's like, "Oh, okay. Well, as we do this, I'm going to go on Metacritic.com and look up the scores for similar games." I was like, "No, just guess. That's the game."
Yeah,
Those
cheater.
were the rules, by the way. The rules were we could look up stuff.
Yeah, because you said it should be, and at the time I tried to talk you out of it, and you're like, "Oh," and I was like,
such a
"Okay,
nerd.
fine."
Talk me out of it.
Yeah.
All right, first email comes from.
No, you can't say that.
Comes from Debugman in San Antonio, Texas. Bug. Jeff Baclar needs to settle a keyboard argument as the resident keyboard perv.
Shit.
Does the sound of the switches impact the feel of the switches or not? I insist that yes, it does. As an aside, I'm building my wife. Thank you. That was a call and response. A keyboard with Zeal clickies, 75G bottom out tacticals, switches.
Yeah, bottom out.
$1 per switch on sale, around $100. Ceramic keycaps, roughly $150, and low profile 75% board, roughly $160 for Christmas. Did I do good? This is her first mechanical keyboard. Thanks for agreeing with me, Debugman in San Antonio, Texas.
Bug.
Jeff Baclar, did you understand any of that?
Yeah, I understood all of it except for the fact that my friend, you are building what sounds like some sort of machine gun keyboard. Like this thing is going to sound like, so clickies are deliberately clicky switches, right?
Ooh.
So they literally have a part on the switch that plastic flicks off, and it makes
exactly.
It's that quintessential click 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 noise. Not to mention ceramic keycaps. Okay, so instead of plastic, they're going to be ceramic. Those are heavy boys. Those are real chunky boys. I don't even know what that's going to sound like. It just sounds like
a typewriter.
It's good. Yeah. It's just going to be so wild. I'm actually sort of pervertedly curious about what it will sound like. So if you want to send me a sound test, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah.
And then a low profile 75% board, which means the caps, the caps and the switches, they sit above the mold of the case of the board, so they don't go into it. Do you know what I mean? They just sort of sit above it. They sit on top of it. So nothing is getting muted. Nothing is getting muffled. I'm wildly curious to hear what this sounds like.
I miss
Go
that
ahead.
clickiness. I like that clicky sound. Like
I'm not
obviously,
a
I had to
fan.
get rid of it when I started streaming and stuff.
What was
and,
the
like, playing games
IBM
with people.
keyboard that had like the really? Is it the IBM M keyboard? The one I had, the one I had in high school that I used, and it was like, this keyboard sounds great. I always want my keyboard to sound like this, and I would like go get mechanical keyboards hoping it would sound like that, and they don't. They don't.
One
Sound
part
like
of the
that
hobby I do have blinders on about is
Model
like all
M.
the
It is
vintage
Model M.
stuff.
Okay,
Oh,
Model
yeah,
M
it's
is the one. Yes.
That's cool.
Other
Yes,
M?
I have heard of that.
Yes, Other M.
Yes, Metroid Model M. We've I've never, that's like I said, the one part of the hobby I do have a little bit of blinders on with legacy stuff, but I think, with the first question being about this, does the sound of the Switches impact, right? So that's
The
saying
feel. In fact, the feel. They
the
100% does.
I gotta run to the potty. Real
right,
quick.
but like
Talking
it's
about
a bit of a paradoxical question. And if we're
Yeah.
going to get real serious about this in
Let's
the
do
way
it.
that I selfishly want to,
No, Jan just walked away, so we can't even go ahead anyhow. So let's do it.
I'm sort of on the fence about this because the feel of the Switch, right? Like if you put on soundproof headphones, it wouldn't impact the feel. The sound is a different characteristic.
Right.
Of
But sound like it. That's the whole like, oh, no one's in the woods to hear a sound. Does it exist? It's like, well, no, because the sound has to be interpreted. Absolutely.
Right. So I kind of think like you have to leave this and instead of answering the question, you have to accept that they are two different things, which help you sort of like unearth another dimension of customization in your keyboard.
Oh, okay. Here's how I view it. Taste and smell are different things. When you're eating, doesn't matter. They're the same thing. When you're actually eating,
I agree with you, but that's because they are like biologically related.
But I think when our brain interprets sound, when you do something that has a feel to it,
Sure,
it combines them in the same exact way. I mean, I think this is how the haptics in the DualSense works, right? The haptics are so impressive because they actually improve the sound, the speaker quality. So they combine every haptic feedback with a sound, so your mind like automatically like that. Oh no, that definitely feels like walking across gravel because it's making a little gravel noise with those movements, and it all becomes the same thing in your brain in the end.
Sure, I think it's completely fair to propose that these things are like forever intertwined, and you cannot really separate them.
Right.
But I do think you can.
You can turn the dials separately.
You can tune those knobs right independently of one another, which is my favorite part of the hobby. Like I obviously case design and stuff like that is great, but like I love the fact that like I can put really thocky like thuddy switches into one keyboard and then like use a different plate to have it sound wildly different than what it sounds like with another plate. So yeah, I mean, I don't think you need to like settle that argument. I think you just got to keep talking about it,
Yeah. There's a
is.
reason people say, hey, does a tree fall in the woods? Does it make a sound?
Sure.
Like, we still talk about that because it is at a certain point an academic exercise.
On the other hand, ceramic keycaps, I simply cannot get on board with. I've never like used them. So again, I'm just speaking from a complete sort of.
I feel like they would crack, but I guess
right,
maybe
like
I don't know.
ceramic, they got to be so heavy. Like, and to me, that would also impact the weight, the spring weight of the switches, right? Because every switch inside has a coiled spring, and the actuation force, right, which is like the force it takes to press the switch to engage the switch. Like you're using such a heavier keycap that's impacted as well. So I wonder. Yeah, I've again no experience with actually using that, but man, that sounds wild to me. Click Zeal switches, in my opinion, are also overpriced. So do with that what you will.
Next email comes from Arthur, and they write in about controller pain or controller joint pain. I have a question for the older, or I like to say seasoned members of the team. I'm approaching 40 and I simply cannot play video games like I used to. My hands start to hurt and I'm getting some knuckle swelling, specifically with my PlayStation 5 and Switch Pro controllers. Are there any third-party controllers that are a bit easier on the joints? I have haptic feedback disabled on the PlayStation 5, but I'm still not able to game for more than 30 minutes without discomfort. Thank you. Love the show. Sincerely, Arthur.
Don't be afraid of aspirin, is what I'll say, first of all. Feel free to take some aspirin before you're in the game and let it kick in at about that 30-minute mark, and you'll definitely be a little bit better. If you're already doing that, I don't know. Ergonomics in gaming is a big thing for me because I'm someone who's pretty uncomfortable sitting down. That's just kind of the way my body is. So there's reasons for that, but I mean that's the effective part. Is pretty uncomfortable sitting down a lot of the times. So I got to like really think about how I'm going to get into a chair and
because of your flat ass, isn't it?
It's because I got a flat back. That's right, exactly.
I've seen video proof that's that
Kicked up, bitches. So yeah, I got to really think about it, but I've not found a lot of great solutions because most controllers are pretty much exactly the same.
Yeah,
they're expensive.
Something that I think a lot of gamers overlook is stretching your goddamn hands.
Yeah, you got to do that. Sure. Yes, you got to get in the habit of that.
Just like just doing one of these, put a rubber band on your fingertips and just like pull some out and everything. Get a stress ball, squeeze that.
Yeah. That stuff is finally getting to me a bit. I have this little bean bag that I rest my wrist on when I'm using my mouse. I have one of those like cast. I don't know what you call it. I sleep with it though because it just keeps my wrist elevated.
Oh, sure.
Wrist just hurts anymore if I sleep on it the wrong way. My buddy has like really bad like wrist problems
RSI.
Though. Like he is taking like almost a whole year off just even playing video games. It's so bad to him. Yeah. One thing he did do was like he got an 8-bit do just because you could take the battery out and have it just be charged because he needed the lightest controller possible for him. So something that didn't have like a battery pack in it or even the vibration stuff, whatever. He was just only caring about the weight. That was the only thing that mattered to him.
I bet if you talk to your doctor as well, like I promise you they've heard it before.
Yeah.
So like,
don't feel weird asking a doctor about stuff to help you game better.
Yeah. But if you don't get the answer that you kind of are hoping for, where that's like this is actually helpful, go find a different doctor. Because that's my experience a lot with a lot of doctors, where I'll mention, "Hey, this thing's bothering me." They'll be like, "That's a cool story, bro." Oh,
just tell them it's for whacking off.
Yeah, then they'll really. If you tell it's for your dick, they'll definitely have some
they'll
solutions.
rub their
you.
Hands, lick their lips, and go,
all
right,
this is where the money's at. You know, money.
It's all of a sudden a ramen goblin. Okay.
Ramen goblins of money.
Also, hey, if you're on a keyboard all day or at an office job, get like a freaking wrist rest or whatever. It helps out.
Yeah,
tremendously.
That's what. Yeah. It's like I don't need it for the left wrist yet. I don't know why. Maybe at some point I probably should just get a big boy one.
It's the jerking off, Mike. It goes back to it every time.
But also, if you find a controller that has just worked for you in the past, just use that.
Yeah.
Like,
yes,
I have had the similar issues using the DualSense for extended periods of time. So if you have found a controller that really fits like a glove, just keep using that. And there are means for you to keep using them.
Speaking of controllers, I have the Starfield controller, and it's like my go-to controller, and I love the way it looks. I feel a little awkward using it now since I kind of don't like Starfield.
That's okay.
It's a great
It's a cool controller, even though the game's not good. It's still a good controller.
Great controller.
Yeah, it's too. I mean, listen, nothing wrong with the aesthetic design of Starfield.
I think it's awesome. I think it's the best part of the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Next email, as we're talking about general life advice, comes from, I didn't write down the emailer. They just write in, thanks. This dump truck was therapeutic this week. Speaking about the most recent dump truck. Honest, I appreciate it. I'm going to buy a hat. Please make new hats. Well, thank you.
we're gonna have new stuff. We're trying.
What did we do on this past? Dump
we
truck?
just talked about life. You know, I asked about wives.
I was on that episode. I don't remember a single thing.
It was wildly undervoiced. Like I think we only got through like 5 voicemails.
And then we talked about salt licks as well.
Yes.
That was the one where I had a voicemail and then there was a voicemail about me, so I liked it.
Yes. And yours didn't sound like you. It was a really good show.
I was real sleepy. Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. We will have new hats. And we are trying to get a good amount of stuff for this quarter. Is
this
what
holiday
I'm
quarter.
Happy with saying right now. Yeah.
I kept throwing crazy ideas at Beckler when he mentioned new merch, and we'll see. We'll see if anything can happen. That'd be great.
I mean, thankfully we're very fortunate. We have someone helping out with that now,
that's very
and
cool.
That's really dope. So hopefully that comes to fruition. But it's tough. It's not an easy thing. You know, the merch game, not an easy game.
Yes, not easy.
Hey, why do my t-shirts, my graphic tees, keep falling apart?
Which ones? Ours?
No, all of my graphic tees, kind of no matter
You
what.
have to, so here's as I consider myself a t-shirt.
Please, just tell me.
expert.
Yes, treat me like a baby because they just keep messing up. I'm getting pretty frustrated.
So you're talking about like the cloth quality or the graphic
No,
quality?
so the graphic begins chipping away.
So because you're putting them in the dryer.
Is it that simple? I just can't dry them.
Any graphic t-shirt you really like, do not dry it.
Okay,
Really?
I figured that was it.
You're supposed to let it hang dry.
You're supposed to hang them. I
If
knew
you
that was
want-
the answer, and I was too lazy to do it.
or air dry.
What
like
is this? The 50s? I'm not gonna hang my clothes.
I'm gonna.
If you want to, I mean, I feel like I get a lot of shirts now that say like, "Hey, you're probably better off not even drying this thing."
Sean in chat saying cold wash inside out. I have been doing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like it's making much of a difference.
Can you just do like
drying.
a low?
It's
a
the
low
drying.
heat dry?
I-
Can you
I
do
did-
like a low and
I did
slow?
gentle-
Low and slow? Like
if
some
you
I did gentle, and that
barbecue those
shirt came
shirts,
out looking
baby?
way worse. Yeah.
What I will-
Barbecue 'em!
what I do if I'm in a pinch, right? Because if you air dry your shirts, they don't know. Sometimes they get a little wrinkly or whatever it is. You just put them in like a fluffer mode where it's not super hot at all, right? It's just sort of like
I'm always
air.
on fluffer mode.
Well, we all know that. But yeah, it's the
Well, listen.
and if it doesn't have a
Let's
fluff
talk
mode,
later.
like do the lowest heat possible because that's what's happening. Like the heat damages the print.
Right. I figured that's probably what was happening. And I was like,
Yeah.
but I don't like. Where the fuck do you hang up your I have a lot of graphic T-shirts, and I do my
Yeah,
laundry
one of
pretty
those
frequently.
foldy boys.
All I own.
Oh, the Foldy Boys,
Yeah.
right?
Do it.
Yeah,
It's all
okay.
I own. Is
Do it
graphic
outside,
I could-
and
I
then
could put one
Oppenheimer's
of
gonna
those-
approach you and tell you about the bomb.
I do think
Pretty good reference, Mike. Actually, I like that a lot.
Jeff got it. Jeff liked it.
Inside Out. Inside Out is also like a big first step. I think if
Yes, I started doing that.
That's definitely important too. But
I feel like
yeah.
I just throw everything in there that I throw over the wash
That's cool.
dryer.
You
My
don't care
shit's
about your
fine.
stuff. That's fine.
Well,
You're allowed to
it's
do whatever you want.
It's all mostly fine, I guess.
Who cares?
Who
I got
cares?
a couple really like ones that were clearly bootleg, so they were low quality. But other ones were like, no, this shouldn't be chipping away. And I'd really like these to last. I have a lot of graphic tees that have lasted for a long time. I think they used to just make the shirts better.
Used to be lead.
Yeah, I think that's probably it.
They used to be printed
Yeah,
with
put
lead.
lead back in the shirts. I'm a grown man. I could take lead.
You
A little bit of lead never. I'm not gonna finish that.
Never hurt.
sentence.
Yeah.
Well.
Well, look at Dan. I mean, but yeah, like that's my advice on the shirt front.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that.
You
A
got
little
it.
bit of lead spices up the bed.
It's the spice of life. Some say.
That's right.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Hey. Sure.
Sounds
Hey,
like you're
see-
bringing a gun into the bed, Mike. That's what that sounds like.
I know we're a bunch of
He's lifting up his eyebrows, everybody.
we're a bunch of goofballs, but we can have a fun, serious episode every now and then, or portions of it.
Yeah.
And we get
Okay.
real, get down to brass tacks. What that phrase is meant, I don't fucking know. Are we talking about like push pin type of tax?
Tax. It
I
has
don't
to be,
know.
right?
I don't know.
Brass
Or like a
tacks.
tax on
They
brass.
were definitely made of brass for a while.
And you know what? Just like Mike Minotti, don't tell me. I don't want to know. I'll eventually look it up.
It's not an
I
invitation.
want to figure it out
tell
on my
me what-
own.
I tweeted something about how people slept on Gravity Rush, and I had to make sure when I tweeted it, not you, person who played Gravity Rush. I know you played it. Don't worry, you don't have to tell me. It's okay.
Last email of the show comes from Yowie Bunga.
Okay.
That's a good name.
Bunga.
Bung! Shut up, Mike.
Thank you for skipping over the Yowie part. All right, dodgeball tips. Hi, Bombcast. I'm not sure if Jan was serious about receiving dodgeball tips, but if he was, I can help with this. I've played dodgeball for about 8 years and am more dedicated to that children's sport than any other. Here are a few pointers. 1, aim low. Worst case scenario is getting caught because it leads to a two-person swing in their favor. You want to aim for the ankles to minimize the chance of being caught. Number 2,
Good suggestion. I like that.
throw together. Find a way to identify your target, e.g., number 2, meaning the person second from the left, and then
Ooh.
throw at least 2 balls at them. It's so much harder to catch or dodge when there are a ton of balls coming at you. That's just life
Appreciate
advice.
you providing the context there. That makes sense.
Number 3, bread basket. Put your arms out in front of you like a bread basket when you're getting ready to catch. It makes it easier for the ball to bounce out of your grip. It's easier than catching with your hands, and you're less likely to hurt one of your fingies.
Yeah, catch with your body for sure.
Number
like a punt.
There we go. Number 4, wear volleyball knee pads. Then you can dive and slide and do all of the ridiculous dramatic things that are demanded by such a ridiculous dramatic sport. Those are some basic tips to get you started. I won't drown you in anything advanced, but I hope you guys actually try it. It's shockingly good exercise and not so shockingly extremely fun. Dutifully yours.
I would have a great time with volleyball.
Yeah,
I
like the knee
dodgeball.
pads, Rec. I think that's smart.
Yeah.
What if I get hurt?
You
Yeah, you
are
will.
gonna get hurt.
Yeah,
What if I get a boo-boo?
We're all gonna
You
get
will.
hurt. We're all gonna get hurt.
Boo boo. What do you mean? You're not gonna
What if
get.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get.
What if he needs hip surgery after one round of
Well,
dodgeball?
that would be the most pathetic headline ever written.
In this email, he said the children's sport of dodgeball. Can I say that, in my opinion, all sports are children's sports?
All
Yeah.
sports can be
Everything's
children's
for
sports.
children to
Yeah.
you. You think,
Listen, I just think there's nothing wrong with something being for children. But
What
like
about-
baseball is a kid's game that adults play. That's fine.
boxing is not a children's sport.
Okay, I do like. Okay, you're right. Combat sports, very good point. That
It'd
those
be
are the
more
ones that are only
entertaining
for.
if it was.
I
though.
I don't think golf's not a children's sport.
Sure it
Kids don't
is.
want to play
Okay,
golf.
hitting a ball
Putt-putt
into a
is.
hole. If you break it down to its component parts, hitting a ball into a hole is for children.
Mini.
Mini golf. Big
Yeah,
boy
I
golf,
mean
though.
that's how that's the
Like,
onboarding. That's
we
the
obviously adapt it
indoctrination.
for adult bodies, but I think the fundamental, like what you're doing, is like this is children's
games.
play. And
I just don't
play
think
is
it's-
great. Play is great. I love play, obviously.
Yeah.
But
I
you know,
just
you're
don't-
just too fucking old for it because you're an adult.
I'm not saying that. I eat cheese pizza, Mike. It's for kids. It's just, I do stuff for kids all the time.
I think everyone's right here.
Yeah, everyone's right. No one's wrong. We should just make a dodgeball giant bomb team shirt and then.
Dan's right. We should just ban kids from zoos already.
All right. All right. That's all of the emails this week. Once again, you can send your emails to bombcast@giantbomb.com. I love and appreciate every single email. Got a bunch of weird ones, but that's cool. All right. Now we've gotten to the shout outs. We're capping out at 25. Shouts out to Jan, you look amazing, so youthful and hot. Shouts out to Jeff Gersman and his new baby, and to Titanfall 2 Giant Bomb Clan. The Janta Menace, Attack of the Jans, Jan Venge of the Sith, A New Hope Showa. Oh, that's good. The Janpire Strikes Back, Return of the Janai, The Force Awake Jans, The Last Janai, The Rise of Jan Walker. Some of these suck and I wrote them. Panda, Choo Choo Gang. Y'all tried the strawberry and cream Dr. Pepper. Pretty tasty. I'm trying to help you get a sponsorship. The Rated R Superstar, Adam Copeland is all elite, baby. The L Edge and that's terrible.
Yes, he's trademarking that.
I'm here to defend honorable trophy perverts like myself from the evil Jeff Grubb. Most of us
That's right.
aren't that terrible and want to earn our dumb little JPEGs in peace. Michael Heim, let's go. How's your bird game, Jan? Yo, I heavily considered bringing Wingspan to Disneyland so my
Wow.
partner and I could play it afterwards, but I didn't because that's a heavy box, y'all.
It is.
Every
All the dead
child
birds in there.
Every child should watch The Never-Ending Story. It's a whimsical PG movie where Atreyu's pet and best friend Artax, the horse, dies of sadness and quicksand and mud.
Yeah, that's part
right.
of it too. Yeah.
Happy first anniversary to The Witch from Mercury. It can fly. It can dance. Ariel. Love to Disney talk. More popcorn buckets. 90s Disney podcast. Let's go. This is not
Thank
a drill. Or is it? Truth alert. Truth alert. Brock Purdy is better than Patrick Mahomes. Truth alert. Truth alert. Let's fucking go. 4-0, baby. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Brave in the Royal Sentai are sent to a strange new world. This weekend, witness the advent of Zeuden Sentai in a dinosaur encounter. King Ogre, Kyogre, hear their roar. Grub 24 check. It's been a while.
It's been a while. I actually am off the 24 train currently because I'm doing some other stuff during my workowth. But I'll get back in there very soon. Watching it gets me working pretty hard. It's pumping iron, if you know what I mean.
Love boat check. JK, lol, never mind. Mitch has been blue balling us for months, damn it.
I'm gonna watch Love Boat eventually. Look, there's so many video games.
Greatest lie ever told.
There's so many video games.
Bug. Hype. It's all games, all month. Hype. Don't cry because it Jimbo'd. Smile because it Ryan'd.
That's very good.
Jan Ochoa, more like Jan Ochoke on these nuts. Oh, come on. What?
Wow.
Scout check, please. She's around. Where are you? I'll find her later. It's October 3rd. Do you know where your giant 12-foot tall Home Depot decorative lawn skeleton is?
Home Depot.
There's a new one. There's a new one on the block.
What?
And it's $400, and it's basically just like the bust of a skeleton. Okay, that looks like it's coming out of the ground, and then there's other pieces that are like
I got the mini version of that. Yes, I like that a lot.
That thing is wild.
We're thinking about getting Jack Skellington because the kids are really into that.
Sure,
right now.
that's
he's like
totally
13 feet
reasonable.
tall.
Yeah.
What I car lack, I can make up for in shart. # we can fix her. Hey knows, fuck you. Shouts out to GB's aging millennials to Grub's gazebo. We get you. Grub, hang your shirts under the gazebo.
Smart.
The gazebo shirts. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Easy to install some sort of hanging apparatus.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Hanging apparatus.
This space intentionally left blank. Sean thinks Super Mario Odyssey is a bad game. McDowell, finger pointing up emoji. Fuck you, Beefhammer. Love Sean. And then once again, much love to Michael Heim. My boy's going through some stuff. If we could just send some love his way, that'd be very much appreciated. We love you, buddy.
Yes.
We'll get through this. We love you. And that has been it for this episode of the Giant Bomb Cast. A lot of plugs to do, y'all. There's a new Honest Game trailers out for Starfield that Bailey wrote. She sent me a joke.
I sent some jokes for that one.
Where are you getting all the invites for the jokes? Is this like a cool Discord I'm not in?
She only asks funny people.
Got it. Got it. No, enough said. I get it.
Expecting him to say it like that.
Question asked
I thought
and
he was going to have a
answered.
real answer, and he said it.
Question asked and answered appropriately, respectfully.
Sorry,
nothing left to talk about. It's fine. It's fine.
She does it on Twitter. She does it on Twitter.
Jeff will remember this.
Oh, cool. Good thing you're already approved by Chief for last month.
I can easily unapprove it. Bug.
Hey, you new episode of 90s Disney about Journey into Your Imagination when they took the best ride and turned it into the worst ride. And also, don't forget, I'm the managing editor at GamesBeat. Go read GamesBeat, everybody.
Go read some GamesBeat. Yeah,
absolutely.
I was on an episode of GameSpot After Dark last week, hung out with Tam and Lucy. We talked a lot about Wingspan, talked about Liza P. Speaking about GameSpot After Dark, the crew over there did a spoiler cast for Cyberpunk 2077. Check out the homegirl Emma on Reality Check. Check out Tam and Lucy on Spot On and other various GameSpot stuff. What else we got going on this week, boys? I missed yesterday. What's popping off?
There's a new Jeff's coming out tomorrow as we continue to watch the best anime ever made, or at least top 20.
No,
I'm still unsure how it works, but there's a new one coming out tomorrow. We're doing a Titanfall Thursday Night Throwdown on Thursday. We're doing some Counter-Strike 2 stuff tomorrow on Wednesday.
That's also a community thing. So get Counter-Strike 2 installed so we can play against people who are relatively sane.
The game makes you like play some matches against bots or whatever.
It's one match, but one match is like to 10 wins. So you got to get it's a lengthy
takes a little
period.
bit.
Yep.
Oh God. All right. Well,
Game S mornings all through the rest of this week as well, everybody. Maybe Friday's a maybe, but probably.
I'm gonna say don't do it, Jeff.
I know. Jan's gonna say don't do it. So we'll see what happens when we get to Friday.
You know what? Jeff winds up doing it when I say don't do it. So I'm gonna say do it, Jeff. Go.
Okay. Shit. All right, man. That does kind of work, man. Now I kind of feel like I shouldn't do it.
Thursday night, that throwdown is happening during the day, correct? It's happening before the dump truck, correct?
Before the dump truck, that's right. It's night somewhere for sure.
It's nighttime somewhere. That's right. We're doing TF2 again on TNT. It's
That's
happening,
right.
folks. Well, folks, that about wraps it up for this week's episode of the Giant Bombcast. You know, I think sometimes maybe we should do 2 of these. You know, what would that be like? What if we did 2 Bombcasts?
A second Bombcast?
Yeah, what if we did a second Bombcast, like a B-sides? What would that be like? You know,
Does Mike have to be on it?
Fuck no.
B-side.
I'm just checking.
Ooh.
I'm just checking. Ooh, a B-side.
not a daily type of Bombcast, but maybe like one like later in the week, perhaps.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
The bonus episode.
No, you said it. The boner episode.
So the SmackDown to the Bombcast Raw kind of a thing?
Hey, I get that.
Thunder. WCW
I
Thunder.
understood that.
Oh, okay. You know, because like the dump truck, there's the hard rule that Backler points to the sign when we enter in. No video game
Slap
talk.
the sign.
Slaps the sign. Gaze proudly at it. You know, maybe 2 Bombcasts a week. We'll see what.
There's too many fucking embargoes on Wednesdays. That's what it is.
Yeah. Someone make a poll. I want to see where the appetite is for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see.
We could call it the Beastcast.
We have a few East Coasters again.
Hey, you know, we also if we're throwing in Bailey, we're throwing in Emma, we're throwing in Nikki on top of Tam, Lucy, and I. That's like a West Coast team almost.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
All right.
You guys have so many friends now. Remember when like it was just you would have 3 people Bombcast and everybody acted like it was the end of the world? Look at you now.
See, folks, things can improve. Just gotta trust the process.
Trust the process.
That's
you
right.
too could have a Brock Purdy-led football team.
That's right, baby. Third, like last drafted QB. How good is that going to be? Turns out
there is a serious chance, Jan, that the Lions and the 49ers meet in the playoffs. So if that happens, I'm going to come visit and we're going to go.
Yo,
So,
BCB, baby. BCB. We'll see you for another episode of the Giant Bombcast. I've been Jan. He's been Jeff. He's also been Jeff. And he's been Mike. And you have been looking great today. Whatever you're doing, it's working. We'll see you next week for another episode of the Giant Bombcast. Try and lift the dog. She didn't want to be lifted.
A mid-cast.